Hello, 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 welcome to yet another Master Grade Sazabi prep stream. Yes, if you've watched a few of these before, I'm working my way through getting all the parts for the Sazabi. They're all off the sprue, I'm getting them all sanded and denubbed. And I have not only this tray full of parts, but also this tray full of parts. I have many parts. And so far, out of all of those, I have done all the parts in here. I've not got very far. The problem is I keep talking to you guys, not doing any work. But never mind. Anyway, yes, welcome to this live stream. If you've never seen one of my live streams before, I do a regular one on Sunday, but this is an impromptu. This build, this Master Grade Sazabi, is a very special Patreon reward build for one of my patrons, George, who's one of my top tiers patrons. And as a reward, every 12 months, I gift him a fully built and painted Gunpla. This is going to be the Master Grade Sazabi in a very special colour scheme. It's going to be painted up in the livery of... I can't remember who it is now. Oh, wow, I'll stop. Hang on. T. It's gone wrong already. Oh. Painted up in the livery of... the Shanghai Dragons, an Overwatch esports team that he likes, he follows. He's got a hoodie and a cap and everything. He really likes them. But yes, it's going to be painted in their livery colours. He sent me a picture many moons ago of, I think, Diva stood there with a mech behind her. I don't play Overwatch, so I don't know. Stood there with a mech behind her, and it's that I'm reproducing. It's all the reds and yellows. It's also going to be weathered and beaten because they're not a very good team. They're a bit the underdog, so it's going to be battered and beaten. And it might possibly, I don't know yet, it's not confirmed, but it might possibly also have a bit of a Borderlands style artwork scheme on it, but I don't know yet. That might not happen. But this is just me doing all the prep. When I get to filming the proper build series, the proper, like, me filming it not live, that will be a Patreon exclusive series. You have to be a patron to watch it. But for the moment, while I'm doing this prep stream, it's just me, farting about, getting all the nubs and sanding it. I'm hanging out with you guys in live streams because that's cool. So feel free. These will all be available to the public until we start the proper series. Now, as always, I will depend on my guys in chat. You can see my iPad's there with all the chat. I will depend on you guys to give me things to talk about for the next 2 or 3 hours. So for the love of dog, please ask me questions. If you're in chat, put it in big fat capital letters if you can see the chat. If you can't, if you want to, you can use the super chat button, which is down here at the bottom of the chat window. That will put your comment in a big coloured box and make a noise on the corner of on my PC over there on the screen, so I can tell you've made a comment. Or if you want to, you can. If you can't get access to the chat at all, the chat's here on your telly, but there is the typey chat on the YouTube page. If you can't get access to it, hit the YouTube icon at the bottom of the screen. That will take you to where the chat is. You can join in. Or if you can't at all, you can send me an email to fox@modelmakingguru.com. My address is always on the screen, so you're more than welcome. So yes, a little bit of another stream of these. If you never watched one of these before as well, don't forget, of course, I've still got the stream boss battle going on, which is here. I know it says Model Making Guru, but the current stream boss is Simon Reynolds, or Kevin as we know him, who's the current stream boss. Stream boss battle, you can win between 300 to 500 quid worth of Warhammer or Forge World kits and products of your choice. Basically, every time you do a super chat, the little dollar symbol on the screen, or every time you do a tip to the tip jar, which is streamlabs.com/modelmakingguru, the address is at the bottom there. Every time you do a tip or a super chat, that puts money in the pot and takes a bit of Simon's health off, takes a bit of health off this health bar. Whoever gets him to 0 wins all the money in the pot and becomes a new stream boss, and you get to choose as many Warhammer and Forge World kits and products of your choice, many Games Workshop products of your choice, up to the value of whatever's in the pot, which is usually between 300 and 500 quid. So there you go. The more you put through as a tip or a super chat, the more of his health comes off. Right, let's have a look and see who we have in before we get going. Walter Wilmoth was first in. He says, hello. He says, I just had to be first, back to work. Haha. Pascal says second. It's very dejected second on there. Oh well, never mind. You can't have it every time, Pascal. But Pascal thinks got to go back to work. He says, have a great day. See you soon. And Pascal says, laters, I am working at the moment. Good luck, Fox. Thank you, Pascal. Nim Cinderin was third. Welcome, Nim. Everybody then leaves, and Nim's like, oh, great, just leave me all alone. Pfft. Whimpers like a sad puppy. Paul Lang is in. Welcome, Paul. Muhat is in. Welcome, Muhat. Not seen you on here before, but welcome. George Gabriel says, just here to monitor the situation. Welcome, George. Your oversight is appreciated. Your overwatch, you could say even. Kenneth M says, how long is shortly? Welcome, Kenneth. Kenneth was just about to go to bed. He was in the last 20 seconds of a Netflix, I think he said, a Netflix program he was watching. He was just about to go to bed because he's in Australia. Hello, there was the thing. What was the thing? Kenneth says, can you please start your stream at a respectable time? Thank you very much for that, Kenneth, by the way. $2.99, a little bit of the health come off there. Thank you very much. It is respectable time. It's just after lunchtime. Sorry. Yes, I was going to start yesterday. I was going to do a stream yesterday around about maybe 10 or 11 a.m. my time. Purely because I wanted to start, like Kenneth says, at a decent time. I've got quite a few followers in Australia, so I wanted to start maybe earlier in the day so that my followers in Oz could watch it before they go to bed, get a couple of hours in. But unfortunately, a lot of domestic stuff happened yesterday. I had to go and do a lot of tidying and cleaning, and unfortunately, I just didn't get a chance to do a stream. And I didn't get a chance to start early today either, because I was supposed to be going out this morning taking Mama Fox to the garden centre, but that didn't happen. So here we are. So yes, I do apologise, Kenneth. I will try and do an early one for you. Next week, we'll do some of these and we'll start early. Right, but thank you for that, Kenneth. Very kind of you. George Gabriel says, here FFS. Oh dear, I don't know what that means. Oops, something not going well, George. Snowman HFC is in, and Ed Bush, welcome to the two of you. Fubits, good morning everyone. I assume I got that right. Fubits or Fubits. Evening, afternoon, what have you. General acts, general greetings. You could just come on and say, general greetings to one and all. George Gabriel, it is 7:30 a.m. here. Oh, why are you up? Oh, mind you said Mrs. George goes to work early, didn't you? You've said that before, so you're always up anyway. Why didn't you just go back to bed? I would. Mrs. gets up early to go to work. Bye! Snooze. Nim says it's 9:30 a.m. Fox has to be an adult, says Nim. I don't. I really don't. I can't. I don't do adult. I try an adult every day and it never really works. Kenneth, it's 11:30 p.m. here. 11, that's not bedtime. Bedtime's like 2 in the morning. 11:30 p.m. is I might have a midnight snack time. It's almost midnight pot noodle moment. Ed Bush says it's 8:30 here and sitting in work and listening anyway. Good girl. Interzone 88 is in as well. Interzone's also in Australia. And this is, I was saying, I was on Chris's live stream last night, Chris over at Gross Models, and we were both remarking on the fact that, I don't know why, but we seem to have attracted many Australians to our fold, and I love that, because I love Australians. Australians are brilliant. Fubits says, this is nuts, I'm having a hard time focusing on one model, starting to get discouraged, need to focus on one project and see it through. Sucks when I'm usually missing that one thing. Fubits, yup. Yes, don't worry. Everybody starts a model with the best intentions, and then as soon as they go on the internet and look at the next model they want to build, they get bored of the model they're working on. It's the ultimate law of the West. It's how it works. There's no way around that. We all do that. You just have to power on through, and very quickly your enthusiasm for the project you're on will return. You just have to avoid the shinies. It's very easy to get distracted by the shinies. Noodles sounds kind of nice, actually. Do it, Kenneth. Go make some noodles. Alex can eat noodles as well, so go and make him some noodles. Boyka van der Borst is in. He says it's 3:40 here, 3:40 p.m, so you're only an hour ahead of us. 9:30 a.m. for Adrian Hunt in Trinidad. Ooh, nice. Fubits says, ooh, shiny. And Nim says, Fubits, I know the feeling. Yes. I'm going to get rid of that pop-up there. So, yes, all I'm doing today is, as you see, I've got 10 trillion parts that I need to sand and denub. And because this is a Patreon reward build, it's not a commission build. Commission builds I just race through, but try and do them as best as possible. I don't do commission builds anymore before anybody asks. But because it's a Patreon reward build, I always take my time and apply as much love and care and tenderness to the build as I can. So you'll probably see me denub and sand about 3 pieces in today's show, because I really do go slowly. Because this is my way of saying thank you to George as a top tier patron, and I put all my effort into it. So he gets extra special buildy treatment on this kit. So I might not do a lot. I might not get a lot done. Just as always though, do let me know if the video and audio is okay. I'm always having problems with the audio levels. One day it's too quiet, the next day it's too loud and I can't win. So do let me know if it looks and sounds okay. Adrian Hunt is still waiting on his Sazabi Vercar to arrive. Nice. Which one have you got? Have you got the OVA version or the one I'm doing? So yes, I'm just going to be sanding. Now I do hate these flat parts. My usual technique, depending on where the nub is in the plastic, I like to, if I have to, get rid of a mould line or something with the file, very gently, just in one direction. And then get rid of any nub there, very gently, and then sand it back so you get rid of all these scratchy marks. Now, I've said in the last show, I am doing a full paint job on this, of course, so I don't worry too much about making the plastic look like shiny bare plastic. I'm not going to be doing buffing and polishing on the plastic. I'm just going to be sanding it so there's no sanding marks, or if there are any marks, they're very, very slight and easily covered by primer. So I'm not going ridiculously overboard on this. I'm just getting it nice and smooth. Get rid of any sandication marks. But how is everyone? I hope you're all well. It is 20 to 3 in the afternoon here in the U of K. It's another reasonably warm day again, although it's a bit windy today. It looks like it's about to rain. I have just put some washing out on the spinny thing in the garden. So fully expect me to suddenly hear the sound of rain, panic and run outside at a moment's notice. It probably will happen. You might have to get the back in a minute screen. Or I could just let the washing get wet. It doesn't really matter. It's a warm day today, but not hot. It's not. There's a bit of a wind breeze. Wind breeze? Wind breeze, you spoon fox. Bit of a breeze going. So I thought I'd put the washing out on the spinny thing. And I discovered to my horror this morning, to my absolute horror, that the day has finally come. The day has finally arrived when pretty much only about 2 of my t-shirts now fit me anymore. I've been kind of trying to hope this wouldn't come for a long time, but you know, I'm 48 this year, and yeah, there's the usual expansion of everything as you get older. So plus I've gone from quite a physical job 3 or 4 years ago to this job, which is not physical in any way, shape or form. And yeah, I've got that midlife big bang kind of scenario. And I've been hoping that I'd just try and eat carefully and not eat junk all day. But no, it's got to the point now where all but one or two of my t-shirts just don't fit me properly anymore. And I'm like, oh. So that's why I've had to do the washing this morning, because all the t-shirts that do fit me were in the washing basket waiting to be washed. I'm like, well, I better do that now then, isn't I? Fudge. So I've got a t-shirt on now that's a little bit tight. But it's alright. As long as I need to go out in public, it's fine. So I'm trying my best at the minute. I'm doing the... I'll have one meal a day and it'll be my main dinner, and that's it. I'm not going to eat nonsense all day and then wake up in the morning and eat whatever's left from last night and then snack on noodles during the day and then have my tea and then have more snacks and nonsense. And no, I'm going to stop doing it. Because I used to be able to eat like a horse. All through my youth. I could eat like a horse and nothing would sit on me. But now, yeah. Now I've got the issues. So, and it's, you know, a bit of a pot belly. I'm not getting fat, really, but... So... And I don't want to go out and buy loads more t-shirts, because I can't afford to go out and buy loads more t-shirts. So, I'm going to try and force myself to just have my main meal a day, and that's it. I don't want to do any of these nonsense protein shakes and all that rubbish. I don't want to do a diet. I just want to eat sensibly. So, yes. Anyway, that's enough of that talk. This isn't a dieting channel. This isn't one of those stupid lifestyle vlogs where I talk about makeup and dieting and how do these here's one for you, right? Here's the thing. Here's a question for you people that watch YouTube, and I'm sure none of you watch this nonsense, but how do these like lifestyle vlog channels get like millions of subscribers? Somebody explain this to me. It's taken me 4 years to get to just over 20,000 subscribers, with hopefully with intelligent and witty content that takes a while to produce. But how do these lifestyle channels? I saw one today because I clicked on a link in a Gawker article, and it was like, what's this? Or a BBC News article or something it was, I don't know. And it's some woman, and she's talking about something. I don't know what it was. It was some irrelevant nonsense. But it took her like 5 minutes to get to the point of whatever she was supposed to be making the video about, which was about 7 minutes long. So it took about 4 minutes to actually get to whatever she was making the video about. But for the first 3 minutes, she just stood there like fussing with a cat and making silly coochie coo noises and pulling duck face. And I'm like, what is this? Why? And then eventually, after about 4 minutes, she finally gets to whatever the hell the video was about, which I've already forgotten. It was something, nothing relating to the cat at all. And I'm like, what? And she had like 20 trillion subscribers. I'm like, why do people watch this? And why do these people have millions of subscribers and hundreds of thousands or millions of views, and they're raking the money in like thousands of dollars a month? And here's me with me 20,000 subscribers, living on breadsticks. How does this work? How do these lifestyle vloggers do this? Are there that many vapid people that will just watch some pouting duck face spout nonsense to the camera? I don't know how this works, because I just want to find out so I can make that kind of money. I don't think people will watch me pouting at the camera making duck face, and I haven't got a cat, so that particular avenue is not available to me, but I don't know. Dad's in. Hey, Dad. How you doing, matey? Dad's one of your mods today. Dad is a lovely, lovely bloke, but if you cross him, he'll get medieval on your ass and kick you into next week. So don't cross him in the chat. Don't misbehave, because he will whoop you out of chat. Welcome, Dad. I must post today, by the way, Dad. I'm posting to you, Dad, these 2 stickers that Kenneth won. I'll pop something else in there. Is there anything else you want me to send you while I'm sending you these? I'll send you some as well, Dad, because I know you can do the couple. But is there anything else you want me to include in the envelope? Oh, that's the other reason you want to be in chat, by the way. The chat there, if you want to do the type, I'm giving stickers away later on, as I always am, so do join the live chat. Let's have a look. Boyke van der Beurs says, really like your modelling tips and tricks. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. I appreciate it. I've not seen you in chat before, so I'm sure you obviously watch my stuff, but welcome to the chat. Edwin RSA says 20:30, 8:30 wherever Edwin is. Nick Wink says 9:40 PM here in the Philippines. Hello, welcome, Nick Wink. See, I do like it whenever I ask what time it is, whenever I ask where everybody's from, because, and I found this the other week, I asked where everybody was from, and suddenly a whole mess of people who were watching and not like taking part in the chat suddenly appeared as if by magic. It was like, wow, all these people appearing is brilliant. I know there's 29 of you out there right now, but obviously not 29 people chatting. Kenneth says, was talking to Dad this morning, Dad's your mod, and he showed me that the Warhammer kit has an entire unused sprue of spare parts after he's built the kit. I was super surprised by that. Don't be. Warhammer kits, because they come with a lot of options, they always come with a load of extra bits. If you buy like a 10 pack of, say, Space Marines or figures of some sort, whatever they are, you always get a load of spare heads. And you always end up with like spare weapons you've not used. And it's purely because, especially with vehicles, when you make a Warhammer vehicle to play on the tabletop, if you make like a tank or something, it might have 6 different types of gun that can go on the turret. But you're only going to use, some people will put magnets in and then switch between them, but some builders will just use one. And it's just to allow you to build all the different variations. So what that does mean is, you do get all these lovely, lovely spare parts that you can then do other things with. So yeah, you always get loads of extra bits. Your logo is kind of covering what you're doing, Fox. Is it? What, that one there? Was I down here like this? I do apologise. It's me not knowing where the centre of my screen is. I'll do it there. So look. Hey Fox, hey stream. Hope we are all having a great Friday, says Ateris. I am, thank you very much. I'm having a good day today. It's a nice warm day outside. I'm going to crack on with this. I'm going to eat nothing at all today. Nothing at all till dinner time, when I'm sure I'll end up eating some kind of irresponsible filth. And then we're going to see what happens. And then what I might do is this will take me through to dinner time. And then I think after dinner, I might treat myself, because I've been good this week. I've been doing lots of work. I might treat myself to some Fallout 3. I got back into playing Fallout 3 a little bit. I just totally didn't finish sanding that bit, did I? Or did I? Yes, I did. Yes, I might treat myself to some Fallout 3 later on. I'm going back into playing that. Steam equals chat, still half asleep. Interzone says, putting out washing summons rain. Yes. But I think I'm at the point now where if it does start to rain, I might just be like, you know what, let the washing get wet. It'll dry out again when it goes sunny again. It's not the end of the world. It's only some t-shirts, not the end of the world. I'll live to regret that statement, of course. Rain and cool, so not a loss to be at work, says Walter. Fubit says, thanks to Nim. Thanks, I've cracked open three things and it seems overwhelming. Also, I'm off for a few. Got to go dark. All the love in the world, everyone. Well, thank you for popping in, Fubits. Hope you come back a bit later on, maybe. Yeah, it is easy to get distracted, and the worst thing you can do is open more than one thing at once. I've learned over the years the best way to do any of this is just to start one thing. However, as I have said in the past, if ever you find yourself starting to flag and getting bored on a build, the most important thing you can do then, and that is when you want to do it, the most important thing you can do if you start getting fatigued or bored, that's when you want to put it back in the box, wherever you're up to, and just start on something else just to distract you. Because if you carry on with a build when you get to the point, you're going to start cutting corners and doing grudge building, and then you might have quality issues with your work. You're not going to enjoy it. The whole point of this is it's a silly fun hobby. We're here to enjoy it. So if you start seeing yourself flagging or getting reluctant or putting it off, if ever you start thinking, oh, I don't really want to, then that's a sign that you need to just put it to one side and open something else. Now, I wouldn't say start on something big. If you're doing something like this, if you're in a big master grade build like this, or you're working on a Warhammer kit, or whatever you work on, a tank or a plane or something, if it's a big complex kit, then don't put it to one side and go and start on some other big complex kit, because all you'll find is the same thing will happen. If you're working on a model that's going to take you a month to build and you get bored, so you open another kit that's going to take you a month, you'll get bored of that, and then you'll have this endless stream of things you've not finished, which will suck. So I would say, if you do a big build like say this, and you get the tediums coming in, or the reluctance or whatever, put it to one side and start something simple and small. Like if it's a Gumpler, just open up an HG, snap it up, maybe give it a quick brush paint job, just something really quick, so it's not going to take you weeks and weeks, but something you can do in a matter of days, basically. If it's, some other kind of kit, do it something else. Hang on, I need to clear my throat. Something else that's just straightforward and simple. Maybe one of the, if you're not a Gumpler builder, but if you're just a regular kit builder, maybe get one of the Meng Toon tanks, or the Hasegawa Chibi aircraft, or the Chibi battleships, or something. Just something simple and fun that you could do maybe over the course of a weekend. It's just a palette cleanser to cleanse your system out. And then once you've finished that, you'll have achieved something. You'll have finished it. You'll have built it and painted it. And you'll have that sense of achievement. You're like, yeah, right, I'm ready for the next one now. And then you can go back to the one you had to dump. It's just a way to cleanse your palette, but not anything serious. Like, if you're in the middle of a master grade and you start getting the fatigue, don't start another master grade. Because the worst thing you can do in the middle of a kit when you're getting the fatigue is to open a master grade and then spend 3 days denubbing and like this and taking nubs off and stuff, because then you just get fatigue from that. And you'll start to resent everything in the world. Yes, if you're a Gumpler builder, just, one of the HG kits or something like that. Or it doesn't have to be a Gumpler, it could be any little... Basically, Bandai are brilliant for that. Bandai kits are brilliant palette cleansers. If you're not normally a Bandai builder, just crack one of them open, like a Star Wars kit or a figure kit or something. Just something. Because they're all push fit kits. You can just have fun. It brings the childlike wonder back. Just get the seam line off this. Now, I know some of you are not necessarily regular. Did I just say regular? Dear God. Regular viewers. And I know some of you out there are just Gumpler builders, so don't watch my Warhammer stuff. However, if you're wondering what this is, it's the Citadel mold line removal tool. And let me tell you, trust me on this, if ever there was a Games Workshop product that was absolutely worth every penny you paid for it, it's this. And if ever there was a model making product that is absolutely indispensable and absolutely fit for purpose and will never let you down, it's this. Because what I'm doing here is I'm getting rid of the mold line that goes all the way around this trigger grip. Now you could just file it down like this, or you could sand it down with sanding paper. But it would take me 10 or 15 minutes to work more around this and sand it and file it and get rid of this mould line around it. With the mould line removal tool, you just scrape it along and it flattens it. Now the difference, you could just do it with a knife. You could say, well, I can just get my craft knife or my modelling knife and just do the same thing and just go get it along and go like that. The difference with this is that blade is flexible. This blade is steel and isn't going to bend. So as you go along it, it doesn't jitter, it doesn't skitter across the surface or dig in or make little scratches. It makes a perfectly smooth and flat edge. Gets rid of the mould line. And when you've done it, all you need to do is go over with a bit of, medium sanding just to smooth it off a little bit, soften it all, blend it all together, and there you go, done. That's it. I've just done in, 2 or 3 minutes what might take you 5 or 10 minutes with just sanding. So get yourself one of these if you've got a Games Workshop store, or just get it online. It's a mould line removal tool. It's the most valuable tool you'll ever buy, and perfectly usable on anything other than Warhammer. I use it on everything. I've convinced. I need to clear my throat. 1 second. Sorry about that. I've convinced a lot of people to pick one of these up, and they've all said to me, "That's the best thing I've ever bought." Let's have a look. What's chat doing? You should get a Shine Blade file, Fox. They are Japanese file made for gunplay. They have 1,000 grit files, but they are expensive but worth it. Ooh, I might look into those. I mean, these are the ones I've got are cheap from B&Q hardware store I bought like 7 years ago, and they do the job. They do the job absolutely fine. They're brilliant on Warhammer stuff. But I might look into that. Dad says, hey, Kenneth, go to sleep. Yes, Kenneth was just about to go to bed because he was on the last 20 seconds of whatever Netflix thing he was watching. And then it popped up my thing for this stream, and he's like, oh, now I've got to sit and watch that. It's brilliant if you sit and watch it, Kenneth, but I don't want Alex telling you off. Nim says, but right now, I'm doing research on what the carrier flight crew would wear on a Gundam space cruiser, going for a similar look to what aircraft carrier crew wear. Anyone have any recommendations? Oh, I don't know, actually. Do you never see them on, do you never see any, like, deck crew on White Base in Mobile Suit Gundam? Have a look on the first couple of episodes where they first go to White Base. I don't know if you see some deck crew running around, because they first get onto White Base, don't they? And they're all like, oh, what is this thing? And there might be some deck crew. I think deck crew on, especially like US deck crew, tend to be like green single piece flight suits, like pressure suits, but not pressure suits. They're just like, for people on the deck. Single piece like jumpsuits, and almost like a pilot's helmet with a black visor. So almost like a big pilot's helmet, but it's not actually a pilot's helmet. It's not got a mask or anything. But it looks like a pilot helmet. But then again, on Gundam, you see, it's totally different. Would they wear normal suits? Because it's a space vessel. George Gabriel says, you people. What was it, you people? Who said you people? The chat's just jumped a million times. Hang on, let me find it. Let's have a look. George Gabriel says, "Was she attractive? That generally helps. I've found." Am I missing half the conversation? Hang on, yes, I am. Hang on. Let me go for. I'm on top chat. I do hate the way it. Oh. Let me go to live chat. That might mean I'm not missing things. Right, here we go. Adrian Hunter says, I think you need boobs to get the next 1 million subscribers. I saw, what was it? I saw some video the other day, and it was I think it was a Warhammer video. And it was some lady she does Warhammer builds. And she's very talented model maker. I can't remember what her name is. She's a very talented builder, and she's like, but when you see a title screen, it's like the picture of whatever she's building, like, you know, a picture of the model or whatever. And then there's just her in the corner, like, with a thumb up and obviously a very low-cut top. And I'm like, oh, dear God, are we that bad? That's the best... Oh, dear. It was like, wow. Adrian Hunter says, can you tell me where I can get water slide decals for the Sazabi? Everywhere I look is out of stock. The Sazabi should come with water slide decals if it's the master grade. It's got them already. Hang on. Comes with them. Although this is the Vercar, this isn't the OVA version, so I don't know if the version you've got doesn't have them. There's stickers there, but that's all water slides. But Bandai do the water slide decals. So have a look on, just have a look on Amazon or wherever you get your Bandai stuff from. A big cup of tea. Dave Cardboard. Oh, hi Dave. It says, hi room. Speaking of cats and internet memes, did you hear Grumpy Cats died? Oh, that's sad. 6:47 AM in Oakland, California. North Dakota, says Rascal. There is a sale on Warhammer PC games on Steam at the moment, says Interzone. I want them to make... I've never played a Warhammer game, but I really wanted to play Space Marine on the Xbox, but it's not backwards compatible yet. They haven't made it back compact for the Xbox One X or Xbox One. It's really frustrating. I'd get that in a shot if it could play it on the Xbox One. Sergeant Mo says, hi Dad, Fox Nubs. Fox Nubs. Let's have a look. Kenneth says he played Dawn of War 3 the other day. Quite a fun game. Not really into RTSs though. Half Sight is in. He says, hello all. Kenneth and Sergeant Bones are talking about glistening folds. Don't ask. Don't ask. I wish Warhammer figures were a bigger scale, says Rascal's Hobbies. Well, the tabletop to play on the tabletop, so they're sort of between 28 standard and the heroic scale. Bandai, they have announced though, if you haven't seen it, it was at the Shizuoka Hobby Show and also at the Warhammer Fest. Bandai are doing, or they are going to do, at least to start with, a single Space Marine action figure, which is about 7 inches tall. Now, I've said before, it doesn't interest me because I don't really care for action figures. If it was a model kit, if it was a Bandai Snapfit kit, I'd be all over that. But you could get it and repaint it. And whether they'll do more, they may well do. But it's kind of interesting. But yeah, they do their figures just to play on the tabletop. They're not really focused on anything other than things that you would play on the tabletop. In terms of, you know, model kits. So everything's to scale within their universe. They're very protective of their IP, so that the actual chances of them letting somebody else make something of their IP, other than, you know, they've done it with Bandai, but let's imagine how long that took. Dad says the Citadel Seam Scraper for me, winner all the way. I missed the egg build contest you ran when I first joined, Fox says Nim. We did one earlier this year. Although it was just a silly fun thing, it wasn't actually his prizes and things. We did do one for a few weeks earlier this year. It was good fun. The first one was good fun. I bought a load of trophies, silly trophies to give away. The winner being a trophy was a pigeon. A pigeon on a stand. It was quite good. But it's more just a case of just having time. It took a lot of time to sort of organise and do everything else, and just haven't had time to get involved in that this year. So we did that little quickie one earlier on this year, which I've already forgotten what it was now. I can't even remember what the hell it was. But we did something early this year. It was just a silly fun thing. Andy McLeish says, Mein Lieben! Mein Leben! Guten Abend, mein Leben! Oops, nubbage. And McLeish says, Dad person. Sergeant Bones says, lol, Leben, try Lieben. Yes, that's why I said it, Leben, because he typed it as Leben. It's like Lieben. I-E, not E-I. Andy says he's got his auto carrot on, so yes. There you go. Fox has just said it. Seam line remover. Brilliant. Wait, what? Did I miss something? Mold line remover, isn't it? I'm going to get going. Have a great day all, and hopefully see you in a few hours, Dad, says Kenneth. Good night, Kenneth. Get yourself some good sleeps. And thanks for coming along. Let's have a look and see. No, they just wear orange, Fox. I think we're talking about like ground crew stuff. In the Navy, they were actually colour-coded for different jobs. Look up Core Fighter builds. The one for the 35th Core Fighter had a deck crew man in it. Oh, cool, says Kenneth. Chimichi Gimbap says, good evening from South Korea, 23:03 PM. Welcome. Welcome, Chimichi. Oh, Chamchi, even. Sorry, I mispronounced. I misread it there. Chamchi. I added loads of extra I's to your name. I do apologise. Welcome, welcome. Sergeant Bones says, I almost have every Warhammer game for PC. Lots of fun there, but why are there no good Gunpla games? There are lots of Gunpla games, but whether they've actually been good. Well, let's put it this way. Think of it logically. Think of it logically. Who owns the license for Gunpla? Bandai. Who gets to make the Gunpla games? Obviously Bandai Namco. When was the last time Bandai Namco made a fairly decent video game? Yeah. Now you know. That's the issue, you see. And when they do make them, they are kind of tailored towards the Japanese market, so things like Gundam Breaker and stuff like that. So we have a Skullfish has entered the building. Welcome, Skullfish. Dad says, hey, notice Gross Models has no null oil anti-spillage device. Don't one in production now. I didn't realise he didn't have one. It's an oversight. Paul Di Tommaso is in. Welcome, Paul. Afternoon Seam Slayer in chat says Skullfish. Sergeant Bones says, oh, good point, Fox. Excellent. What point did I make? I've forgotten. Oh, the Bandai thing, yes. Yeah, it's the thing. Like, what was the last good Bandai game you played? Crickets. I can't do the noise of crickets. It's like, yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're not great. Do. There you go. That mold line remover makes that kind of job much faster. Now, because I am painting this, like I said, I'm not too fussed if there are real subtle micro sanding marks, because I know the primer will cover that. And I just need it to be as smooth as possible, but not ridiculously smooth. And I don't mind if the plastic is matte and not shiny, because I don't care. It's going to get covered in primer. So if I wasn't painting this, or if I was doing some weathering on top of bare plastic, I'd have to get that back to shiny plastic. Use me polishing and me buffing sticks. I'd have to get me Flory sander out. Free advertising. Not sponsored by, not affiliated with. But of course I don't need to, because I don't care, because it's getting primer on it. So as long as it's smooth, that's all I care about. Dad, have you asked the question yet? You know the question, Dad. What was the last Bandai game? Bandai actual video game I played? Bandai Namco. I think it might have been. I can't remember. Did they do Lost Planet, or was that Sega or somebody else? Who did Lost Planet? That was pretty pants. Windy Moz is in. Sup everyone. Welcome, Windy Moz. Welcome to Test Stream. This will be one of many streams. Mickle Pickle's in. Hey everyone. Welcome, Mickle. Pickle. Dad asks the most important question. What is on your bench and what is in your belly? Because I'm trying not to eat a lot of food. I'll just do it vicariously. I'll live through you guys. So what's on your bench, what you're working on, if anything. And what have you either had for your dinner, or what are you planning on having for your dinner? Or if it's lunchtime where you are, what are you having for your lunch, or planning for your lunch? Just basically talking about food so I can feel really bad that I can't eat for another 8 or 9 hours. I don't know why I do it to myself. It's just torture. The question is the answer, Dunkle Gelp, says Andy McLeish. No, the answer is you forgot your name and address. Yeah. For those that don't know, Andy kept winning stickers and things, but every time he'd win a sticker, he'd send me a mail saying, hey, I want a sticker, and I'd be like, brilliant, what's your name, what's your address? Oh, yeah. Or he'd send me a question and answer and then forget to include the name and address, because he's special. Jamshi Gimbap says, you're stranded on a desert island, what 10 modelling tools do you take with you? All of them. I'd take the modelling tools that allow me to create food. I don't know. I don't use a lot of tools. I mean, quite literally, my entire tool collection is, I would definitely take my God Hands. I would definitely take my Swan Morton blade. I'd definitely take my my mould line removal tool. Do you count sanding sticks as one item per sanding stick, or one because they're all the same brand, like they're all UMP, or does that count as one item? It doesn't count as one item, does it? Include my file. I'd take that sanding stick and that sanding stick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've only got 4 other tools. Blimey, Riley. I'd say a pair of tweezers, because you're going to need a pair of tweezers. So I've got, Kenneth very kindly sent me, I didn't know they were God Hands, but they're God Hands tweezers and they're fantastic. And then what I would do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of those. And then I'd use my last 3 tools and substitute them for a replicator. No, really. For a massive crate of food, a massive crate of all the beer in the world, and one of my tools would be the method to get back home. Yeah, I don't know. No, that's kind of all the tools I need, really. I don't really have a lot more tools. The other bits I've got are just things like, I would include, of course, my dad's device, Anti-Spillies device, which has a singular purpose, and that is for your citadel shades. So when you're doing your citadel shades, you don't knock them over. You can't knock them over, because, or anything like that, because that is the ultimate sadness. It's the ultimate sadness. What else have we got going on? Ed Bush says 172nd perfect grade Millennium Falcon. I will be doing mine hopefully soon, in a few weeks. Well, in a couple of months when I finish this. Coffee right now, but Kung Pao chicken and rice for lunch. Oh, nice. I'm on tea because it's after breakfast. It's tea. Nimsindarin says bench same as last time. I forgot what that was. And I'm eating honey barbecue chips or crisps for you in the UK. Ooh, honey barbecue. I like the sound of that. Remind me what's on your bench though, because I can't remember. People often get insulted because I forget things like their names or what they're working on or something they told me the day before. But I do actually have a really, really bad memory for anything. I mean, I have a terrible memory for not just a bad memory for specific things, but bad memory for just any fact of any kind. Unless it's completely random and irrelevant. Like, for example, the depression on the bottom of a wine bottle is called a kick or a punt. And the plastic bit on the end of your shoelace is called an aglet. I have no reason to know those facts, but I've known them for many, many years and I can't forget them. Yet, you could tell me your name right now and within 10 minutes I've forgotten who the hell you were. So I'll just call you dude. Let's have a look. Andy McLeish says, shut up, Mr. Bakes dirt and eats it. I don't eat dirt. That's Fox that does that. That's the other one. Nothing and nothing, says Mickle Pickle. We need to sort out at least one of those nothings. Sergeant Baron says, Keva Pakiki. Keva Pakichi. What's Keva Pakiki, Sergeant Bones? And tank tracks with nubs. Oh. So tank tracks, but then he's making it with some Keva Pakiki. George Gabriel is my bench is still Zaku 2. Today I hope to edit my first week build vlog. My belly is nothing yet, looking for breakfast. Hunt it down, eat it. Yes, George is hoping to get his first proper build videos up soon. Can't wait to see those. Good luck with those, George. Have you managed to get the... for those that don't know, George has got the... He's working on the Zaku 2, and he's got the problem where, because he lives at 10 trillion metres above sea level, he's got the Zaku beads that come with a little sort of flexible rubber, and you kind of slide them off, except it's swollen, and he can't get them off. Oh, sucks. Edwin RSA is working on SDCS Nightingale, coconut rice and chicken for dinner. Ooh. Give us a shout when it's up, George, please, says Dad. Dad, yeah, if you subscribe and click the notification bell, you'll know when the video goes up. You'll know because it'll be on your My Subscriptions feed. Just saying. Like and subscribe. But yes, when you do it, George, you have to pimp the crap out of it in the boom hut. Make sure you pimp it in the boom hut. Oh, which reminds me, by the way, for those of you who are either new to my channel or don't know what the boom hut is, I will put a link in there. Some of you may not know, but I have set up a Facebook group. I should put the link in chat there. I did set up a Facebook group called the Model Makers Boom Hut, and it's specifically a group for all skill levels of model maker, whether you're a hardcore professional or you're working on your first build, whether you're 10 years old or in your 70s. I don't care. You're all awesome. And it's basically a place that I set up because I was a member of many groups. And what you find, without mentioning any names here, but what I find with many groups is that they're just toxic, nasty, just horrible, yeah, the horrible places. Somebody posts up, I've seen in other groups, I've seen people brand new to the hobby post up their first ever build, and they've just got so much pride, and look at this, my first ever build. I've spent dead long making it, and I'm really pleased. And somebody comes along and says, well, that's crap. Somebody who's been making models for 30 years comes along and says, well, that's crap. And all I want to do is find that person and punch them with a chair, because that's not how you do it. So I set up the Boom Hut as a safe, not necessarily a safe place. It's not all yes men and everything's brilliant. What we do is we encourage people to, hang out, become friends, share information, share tips and tricks, but also do constructive criticism. So if you somebody posts up some work and it looks really good, but there's some things you think maybe they can improve on, you can tell them that without saying, well, that's crap. There's ways to encourage people to improve their skills without putting them off the hobby forever. So I set them Boom up for that. So it's open to everybody, all skill levels, and any kind of models. It doesn't even have to be any kind of creative. You can be building things out of matchsticks. You can be the kind of person that glues together Lego and paints it. I've done that myself. We've got a glass blower. I always say we've got a glass blower in there, and puppet makers and things like that. Whether you're professional or amateur, doesn't matter. It's a nice place to hang out. We're not super strict about anything, but we are super strict. The only thing we're super strict about is if you're a rivet counter or a snark master, you won't last long. So we protect our members. So go and join it. Go and join it. It's a fun place to hang out. George says, I guess I'm not going to have Sprue Glue Addict as a subscriber. And lol says Sprue Glue Addict. Oh, I'll sub to George when he sends me the Falcon. Yeah. Chris is in. Hey, Chris from Gross Models. Chris says, send him a Revell 1 350th scale one. Yeah, because George, if you think about it, he didn't actually specify which Falcon he's supposed to send him. So yeah, just send him that little Revell one that's like that big, little pocket kit. Hello all, I'm still at work, so we'll be disappearing from time to time, says Chris. Yes, hello Chris. He'll be disappearing as customers come in. Excuse me. No, says Sprue Glue. Too late, mate. Crappy Revell pocket kit incoming. This is the thing, right? This is the thing. You've got to word your wishes carefully. If you don't carefully consider how you structure a wish, it can all go horribly wrong. Trying to think of things to talk about. Let's have a think. By the way, don't forget, if you're not aware, I do sell merchandise. There is a merch bar underneath this video. Now, unfortunately, YouTube are morons, and they can't figure out how to make my merch bar actually work, to the point where I've hassled their support team so much they've just stopped replying to me now, because they just really don't know what they're doing. I do sell t-shirts and hoodies. The merch bar below may show 1 or 3, but there's actually 9 so far in the store. There are links in the store. But if you want to go and check out my merch, please feel free. Have a look. I say this every time. I do this for a living. This is my income. And I depend on, my patron support and also any merchandising that I can do and things like that. My YouTube income. So do go and have a look and see. See if anything tickles your fancies. I will be doing some more designs soon when I'm just not had time. I need to do a slap it on hoodies and t-shirts. Maybe something like slap it in your basket. Well, that's Ted's. I can't keep using that because that's Ted's. That's Ted's. That is. But yeah, I'm going to use slap it on. Slap it on. I need to do some t-shirts and hoodies that say 2 times more shine. Chamshi says, how do you combat Gunpla weapon fatigue? As the worst thing. I was talking about this the other night, wasn't I? Yeah, Gunpla is, you get this thing called weapon fatigue. I get limb fatigue as well. Or duplicate fatigue. You also get fin funnel fatigue, good God. Weapon fatigue is where you spend ages working on a Gunpla. Especially if you're doing a full paint job, you spend ages and ages working on a Gunpla, and you're like, wow, finally I've finished this mobile suit. And then you think, oh wait, crap, I've not even built the weapons yet. Oh. Especially if you're doing a full paint job, because what I tend to do is I tend to get the mobile suit all done, and then I forget I've still got all the weapons to prime and paint. I'm like, oh, I'm kind of sick of this build now. I need to move on to the next one. So yeah, it does become, it can appear, especially if you're building something like, for example, the Master Grade Full Armor Unicorn Gundam, which I never finished. Because for the Full Armor Unicorn, I actually got entire kit fatigue on that one. I wasn't even doing a full paint job. I was just like building it and then doing weathering on top of the plastic. I was doing a sort of silly fun build. I just gave up on that one. But I think the only thing you can really do is battle through it. Like I said before, if you start to fatigue on a build, I don't know if you're here before when I said it, but if you're on a build and you get to the point where you're like, ugh, and you lose your enthusiasm, just put it back in the box for a few days and go and do something simpler. Go and do a simple snappable kit of some sort, or a little chibi egg plane or something like just something simple and fun, just to distract you for a few days, to let you recharge. Because there does come that point where you're kind of sick of every kit you make. At some point you will get sick of it. You get to the point where you're sick to the back teeth of whatever it is you're building. And like I say, I never finished the Full Arm Unicorn. I actually gave it away as a prize, half painted, because I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of this kit now. Beautiful kit, fantastic. But after doing all the weapons and everything, and the 8 trillion decals and everything, it just burnt me out. I had to give up. Plus, it didn't quite work out as I was planned, and I gave up on it anyway. But yes, so yes, it does happen. The best thing I say is just take a break. You don't have to start something else if you don't want to start another build. Just take a break for a few days. Couple of days, just take a break, go and sit in the garden for a day or two if you've got nice weather, or go and do something else completely. Catch up on your favourite TV series or whatever. Go and binge watch something for a day or two, and just forget about it. Put it out of your mind, because as the old adage says, absence makes the heart grow fonder. You can just power through it, but sometimes that just, depending on what it is, if it's just, if you've just got the mobile suit done and you've got 1 or 2 weapons, that's probably not so bad. You can power through it. If you're doing like me, the Full Armor Unicorn, and you've got the mobile suit and 4 Gatling guns and all the other stuff and this and rocket launchers and I would have got to the point where I was doing a grudge build, and a grudge build is the worst thing you can do because you just resent whatever it is you're working on, and then your quality sucks. So just put it to one side. Go and do something else. Just for a day or two, until you sit there. Because what will happen is you'll go to bed at night, and you'll be sitting there at work or at work or at school, And don't think about it. But what will happen is, after a few days, maybe a bit longer, you'll have put it out of your mind, and you'll find yourself sitting at work or at school or when you're dropping off to sleep at night, just thinking about it, thinking, if I painted this bit there, and if I did that, or if I glued that to that, and you'll start finding yourself thinking about it. And that's the sign that your enthusiasm's back for it. When you start having like planning thoughts, what if I paint this bit, and then if I do that with this colour, or even if you just find yourself imagining working on it, that's how you know you can go back to it. So there you go. Different for different people, but I put it down, walk away for a day or two, and do something else. Guns Down in Hail, almost done with my first build. I'm so happy. Oh, welcome, Guns Down. 3 new boom hutters just approved. I guess you're from here. Yes, if you want to go and join the boom hut, we pretty much let most people in. We take the approach, it's a closed group, but we take the approach that we'll let you in, and if you're a tool, we'll kick you out. If you're not a tool, you'll be happy and we'll like you. We tend to do it that way. We'd rather give everybody the chance not to be an idiot. Do make sure, though, if you're joining, or if you've just joined, or if you're a new member in the last few days, do make sure to click on the About page and read the rules and regs. There are some rules, no selling, no being a tool, all that kind of stuff. Do make sure to go and read the rules, just so you can be sure it's the kind of place for you. Okay, I'm hating doing these missiles. They're just fiddly. Dad says, put some pictures up in the boom hut, Guns Down. Yes, that's what the boom hut's for. It's for showing off your stuff. Built and not built. And getting advice. George says to Chamchi, he says, build the weapons first when you're fresh. That's another option you can do. If you've got a kit with a lot of weapons, do the weapons first. I keep trying to do that and I never do, because I always forget. Because I get excited by the shiny mobile suit, and then I build that first, and I'm like, oh, I should have. Oh. It's like that big Zaku. I've not finished my perfect grade Zaku yet, because I've got to do all the weathering. But I haven't even touched the weapons yet. And I know that as soon as I finish that, I've got the weapon. I'm like, oh, I've got the weapons to do yet. Oh, fudge. Right. Those missiles are a pain in the bum. Let's have a look. What else is it doing? Ed Bush says, what's your favourite paints to use when brush painting? Dad says Citadel for him, or even Vallejo. I would say for brush painting, absolutely without question, Citadel paints. They are just the absolute best for brush painting, because they are 100% designed for brush painting and nothing else. So, they're not even any use as, they're kind of a pain in the arse to use as airbrush paints, because they're not designed for that. So I would say absolutely Citadel, and then very, very closely followed by Vallejo. Don't ever use Tamiya paints for brush painting. It's not worth the stress. They're not designed for it. They're alcohol-based, not water-based. I would stick to either water-based acrylic, so you can use a wet palette, or if you're just painting little details, or you want to get into it, you can brush paint with lacquers, because they do dry very flat and very quickly. If you want to make sure there's no brush marks, use water-based acrylics or lacquers. But lacquers stink, so that's the downside. And thinners, lacquer thinners, can damage Bandai plastics if you're doing Gunpla, so you have to be very careful. Just brushing the paint on fine is no problem. It's just if you try to do washes or anything like that, so do be aware of that. But yeah, brush painting, absolutely Citadel. And if you've never brush painted before, and you're looking at doing some brush painting, you want to check, even if you're doing, say, Gunpla. If you're doing Gunpla, and you look at the state of this desk, it's covered in bits now, I need to clear this desk off. If you're doing Gunpla, and you want to do some brush painting, like, because when I do this Sazabi, I'm going to like airbrush the frame, the base colour, and probably the armour as well. I'll get the airbrush base colour. When it comes to doing all the chipping and all the other bits and bobs and some shading, it's going to be brush painting all the way. Yeah, if you want to get into that, then I do strongly recommend watching some YouTube content channels where they paint tabletop miniatures. just to pick up some techniques of how to deal with the paint, how to make and use a wet palette. Obviously on my channel I have lots of playlists. If you look on my channel, if you're not subscribed already, you should be. Why aren't you? If you look on my channel, everything goes into a playlist, and I have lots of how-to things in the there's a how-to playlist. There's other videos in there, but I have done a video about using a wet palette. I've done a Gunpla brush paint Gunpla build. I did a HG Buster Gundam that was 100% brush painted, so go and check that out. But yeah, I do recommend watch videos, model making videos where they're doing brush painting, and that's going to be things like tabletop miniatures, vehicles from from say Warhammer or similar things, because you'll pick up a lot of useful techniques. Even though you're not making tabletop miniatures, that's where everybody does brush painting, a lot of brush painting, and that's where it excels. That's where the brush painting medium excels, or figure painting. So we'll check it out. Thy creator is in. Welcome, Thy. Do you have a subreddit for the Boom Hut that says guns down? No, because I've got so many social media things that I've got for mine and for the Boom Hut and stuff. There is a Discord for the Boom Hut. If you give me a second, I will post a link up for you. One moment. If I can find it. Discord. There we go. There is a Discord called the Boom Hut Sofa. I'll put it in chat for you. Where you can hang out. There's not a lot of Boom Hutters in there, because most people forget it exists. But yes, it just got to the point where I had so many things to set up and admin and work that I just don't have the time. Also, I will admit, don't really know that much about how Reddit works. It kind of confuses me a bit. So look, anyone else picking up the HG Grendizer Infintism? I can't read that one. Grendizer Infintism kit. I don't know what that is. Asphalted Tommaso. I have to admit, I've actually been out of the Gunpla loop for about a year and a half, so I've got no idea what the current new hotness is, latest kits and stuff. So I really am out of the loop. I have no idea what that is, Paul. Sounds about right. Right, where's the nubs on this? Tiny nubs. Citadel Nim says Citadel Army Painters Vallejo are all good. Ammo by MiG I use for metallics. Ammo by MiG do some good metallics. I wouldn't recommend brush painting with Ammo by MiG if you're not a bit experienced, because Ammo by MiG paints are not like normal water-based acrylics. They're not forgiving at all. You have to apply them in a very certain way. Ammo by MiG are brilliant for airbrushing if you know what you're doing. So if you're an absolute beginner, I would not recommend Ammo by MiG at all, just because they'll tend to come out. I'm over there again, aren't they? They tend to come out onion skinny or onion peely or shiny and blobby. But yeah, Vallejo, Citadel, Army Painter. There's a load of other ones, but yeah, there's loads out there. Just stick to your water-based acrylics. Nim says, I'm off to bed. I have the works tonight. And just finished shaking out all the flour from my uniform. Bless. All right, Nim, well, thanks for coming in. See you again shortly and soon. Take care. And I've still not had that massive package of cakes from you. It must have got lost in the post or something. I must have done, I reckon. Yes. Yes, probably. Mitch is in, says, yes, I grew a live stream on a Friday while I'm at the office, and it's Gunpla. It made my day. I'm glad I could help. Oh, one tool I would take with me as well, that on the desert island that I forgot to mention, was my scribing tool, my Tamiya Scriber. That does come in handy, especially on things where they've got, like, this is ribbed for her pleasure. This is one of the bits for the fin funnels, and it's got a ribbed texture to it, but one of the nubs is right over the little bit where there's a little rib. So I've sanded it down, but of course that smooths off all the little ribbed sections, and then I mess like that and make a gouge. That's a bit rubbish. So I can basically rescribe those. Try not to mess it up like I just did. Don't be like me. Do it properly and carefully. One thing I haven't actually tried yet is scribing new panel lines on anything. I did get myself some Dymo tape, and I've got my scriber. I do have the master grade Giara Doga at some point, so I might try scribing some on there. You never know, it might work. Okay, so that's that done. That was easy. What is chat doing? Bye all, gonna lay in bed, not feeling great, says Snowman. Okay, dude, well thanks for coming in, hope you feel a bit better. Beer fixes everything, go for that. Right, tea. Right, I'm dreading these. Oh. I'm dreading these because they've got this big mould line down the middle. It's totally not required. Well, they've got nub marks and then a mould line, which maybe it's supposed to be a panel line, but there's no way of getting rid of the nub mark without removing this little raised panel line. So I'm going to have to sand the whole thing off anyway. I hate that. I do hate that. It bugs me. It bugs me. So we shall just remove it all. Remove it all. Are those magnifying goggles I keep seeing show up on screen? Yes, I've got a very, very old, very, very knackered. I've had to paint. Yeah, very, very old and knackered magnifying visor that I got from Hobbycraft like, I don't know, 10 years ago. I can't tell you the brand. It had a thing in there with a little pop-down magnifying that I've long snapped off because it bugged me. It needs a good clean. It's really old. And the reason I painted the shark eyes and the shark mouth was I had to go to my local games workshop and do some painting where I said, I'll come and help you paint some figures for his displays. And I realised it's going to be a shop full of young people, and I'm this middle-aged bloke sitting there with this on my head. I look like some kind of dubious bloke in the corner. So what I thought was, I'll make my visor cool and I'll paint some shark mouth on it. So I painted on some shark eyes and a shark mouth, so I could look at least a little less old middle-aged man painting in a games workshop store, a more cool hip dude you should listen to. Yeah. Sprewmonger says, lol, I'm scribing at the moment. It sucks having a shaky hands. The trick is, the real trick, the absolute trick is, you want, first of all, go very, very gently with no pressure and build it up slowly. Don't just go gouge, but instead go like gently. Very, very lightly, just use the weight of the scriber tool and build up your scribing line slowly. The first few passes you'll have no scribing at all. It'll be like, I'm not doing anything. But slowly it will start to eat away at the plastic. Don't press down. Use the weight of the scriber. The second thing is Dymo tape. D-Y-M-O, Dymo tape. It's what, in the 70s, me and Dad will know this, you had a thing where you could press, you'd rotate your wheel and you press it and it'd press a letter into the tape and you could make labels and things by pressing the letters. It's called Dymo tape. It's still around. The reason you want this is it's not a super adhesive, so it's not going to like leave a load of gunk on the model, but it's thick. It's not like normal masking tape. It's kind of really thick. So when the scriber goes along the edge, it's not going to dig into it or pull it around or move it. Paper tape will just move. This is quite stiff. So it gives a nice straight edge that the scriber can stick along to. And again, if you go gently, very, very gently, don't be putting a load of pressure on. If you do slip, then you might make a very light scratch, which you can easily sand away. If you're going really heavily, like, ooh, like that, gouging it out, and you go slip, you've now put a panel line going off at a 45-degree angle on your shoulder part. You don't want that. So go super light and get some Dymo tape. I've got about 4 rolls of it on Amazon for about, I don't know, $5 or something. It's not expensive. Not expensive at all. Aussie Deschapelle's in, welcome. Just finished spraying some custom painted Moon Gundam parts with Pledge Floor 2 times more shine, extra shine stuff. Cool. Jolly good. It's good stuff. That smells nice, doesn't it? Ed Bush says, I have to use some 3 times reading glasses. Said that my eyes are going as I get older. I actually need to get some new glasses. My glasses, I've got a pair here. I've got a pair of, these are varifocals. And I've got these reading glasses, which were designed, I got these, if I put them on now, can I see anything? Well, I need to clean them. I got these at the same time. This was the free pair. I got these specifically so I could sit and work on models close up, and then got my varifocals so I can, see a telly screen far away on my computer screen or drive. But that was about 3 years ago, and my eyesight has changed since then, and now I really need to get a new prescription. but I can't afford it right now, so I'll struggle on with what I've got. But I tend to use the visor, so I've got used to seeing things through the visor, which means even just for denubbing, I'm sitting there using my visor. It's ridiculous. Or just to read like the instruction manual, or to read the instructions on the box of a microwave meal, which is always tiny font. I've got to take my little visor down into the kitchen so I can see what the hell I'm doing. So if I use my reading glasses, why don't I just... Oh, there you go. I can read that now. I'm an idiot. Oh, except now I can't read the chat when I'm... Oh, I can't read the chat when I'm here with the visor on, but I can lift the visor up and I can read the chat. I should wear these more often. Awesome, right. Now I can see what I'm doing without the visor. I don't even need the visor now. Yes, I'm awesome. I learned a thing today. Because I only usually wear these. I'll be honest, I only normally wear these when I've got my respirator on, when I'm spraying, when I'm airbrushing. Because I don't want to damage my actual glasses, and the respirator can pinch on the glasses frames and could potentially snap them. So I always wear these because these are a bit more durable than my other ones. And I kind of forget I can use them for all this nonsense now. So yeah, I'm an idiot. I still need the visor for looking really close up, but I don't need it quite as much. But it will, like, I've got the visor down now to look at this. But if I want to look at the chat, I can just lift the visor up. Whereas the other one, I've got to look through the visor. So I'm an old man. I've got rubbish eyesight. What can I can't help it. But unfortunately, these look like these are like geeky spod glasses that don't suit me at all. So hey, it was free. I can't complain at a free set of glasses. Mitch says, I definitely know the label maker you are talking about. I had several. Ed Bush says, yay, old label makers. And Mitch says, I need to get one of those tools. It's just a Tamiya scriber. The beauty of it is, it's got that. It comes in and out. But you can replace the blade, and there's actually a spare blade in there. Spare blade that I've not used yet. There's actually, I think, 2 spare blades in there. 2 or 3 spare blades in there. But they'll last you for years. You can also get different blades as well. I keep meaning to get one where there is one where you can do like it's got a little notch in the blade at the end, and you can run it along the edge of a piece of plastic. Like, I've got a flat piece of plastic now. But you could run it along the edge of a flat piece of plastic, and you get a little notch cut out, so you could put a panel line. You could turn a seam line into a panel line. It'd be quite cool. If you stick Dymo tape on top of Tamiya tape, you can use it many more times. Cool, never thought of that. Thank you, Dave. Right now I use a needle instead of a mechanical... Hang on, start again. Right now I use a needle held in a mechanical pencil. The beauty of a specific scribing tool is it's designed not to gouge the plastic. If you use it correctly by going in thin coats, what you get is, instead of... Let me get my pen of illustrating. If you use say just your modelling knife, for example, you'll get your piece of plastic like that, and you'll do a panel line like that kind of cross section, if you can see it, which might work, but it might not. Also, this will make a mess. It will just horribly cut it. If you use a pin, you can get sort of a panel line like that kind of shape. Obviously microscopic, not that big. That's your modelling knife. These kind of things tend to give you more of a square scribe like that, but you can get different shapes to do different panel lines, but these tend to give you more of a square shape, and they tend to not hack the plastic, whereas sharp blades and things tend to make a bit of a hacking motion. And you can often get, if you look at, say, something you do with a knife on top, you can have the scribed line like that, and inside the scribed line you've got this rough texture because it's not nice and neat. Whereas this just gives you, if you go slowly, do like very slow build up, you'll see the bits of plastic spooling out in front of it. It just slowly brings the plastic out, and you can get some nice, smooth, crisp, square profile lines. Or you can still mess it up. I mean, I've done it myself. I've made messes of these things. Sprue Glue says 2 times more shine. Right, so. But I used to use a modelling knife for a lot, but over the years I've kind of grown away from that. I've stopped using modelling knives for a lot of things. Now, other than like doing this, getting rid of nubs, initially getting rid of the most of a nub, shaving things down. For things like panel lining, it never makes a good panel line. Because it goes too deep. You want something not pointed, basically. That's there. I've got no choice now but to get rid of this little raised line, which I don't know if it's meant to be there or not, but I haven't got a choice. There's nothing I can do. It's there. I can't get rid of it. Oh geez, I walk away for 5 minutes and he ruins the manual. I've already got scribbles and I've written all over it. There's little writing bits on it. I wasn't going to send you the manual anyway. You've got your own manuals. Now, this raised line here. Arse. Thanks, Bandai. You monsters. I'm going to have to just very carefully and slowly scrape it away with the removally tool. I forgot the best way to do this, and then sand it back. But I don't want to sand a depression where that line is. I've got to be really careful about this. I've got to somehow get rid of this, and then sand it back and make sure it all remains constant. I don't want to flatten any of the edge. I don't want to put a flat edge or flat side on this. So while I appreciate Bandai gave us a tube and not just two pieces you stick together, they gave us a seam line down the middle, which maybe it's supposed to be there, but I can't get rid of the nubs without getting rid of this line, so I may as well just get rid of the line. You've kind of stopped us having one bad thing, Bandai, but then replaced it with something just as bad. I guess there's no way to win, is there? Hey, we've made this one single monocoque piece, so you don't have to worry about a panel line. Brilliant. And we've put this panel line on there. Brilliant. And then we've put the nubs where it attaches right on that panel line. Oh. Thanks for that. Thanks, Obama. Spoonmonger says, I'm playing with the Mad Cat chisels at the moment. They work well with scribing tape. Tried Dymo, but could only get the new thin stuff and it wasn't great. Speaking of old school Dymo, who remembers Letraset? I love Letraset. Letraset's brilliant. When I was at school, in my formative drawing years, when I was learning, teaching myself to draw, I did all kinds of drawings, but I used Letraset all the time because I do like fake comic book covers and stuff. So I had loads of Letraset. Brilliant. It was at that point that I learned that Gothic script is never good to use. I do all these brilliant drawings and put loads of text on it, and it was like, people would be like, looks great, but I can't read any of that writing because it's all in Gothic script and nobody can read that. I'm like, oh, okay. Right, so that hasn't really got rid of that at all. It's not getting rid of it. This is an immense pain in the bum. Thanks, Bandai. I don't want to use the file because the file's gonna mangle it up. I've got no choice really. Somebody asks if you can still get Letraset, and Dad says you can. You can get Letraset. It's quite rare nowadays, though. It's hard to get hold of. I think Letraset are still around, but they're nowhere near as big as they used to be. I think it might be a different company now that owns it. Because, of course, who needs Letraset nowadays? Interestingly enough, if you make the MPC 1/48 scale Eagle Transporter from Space 1999, you will find, if you get the limited edition one with the 8 trillion extra decals, water slide decals, you will find, or you may find, that if you're an old person like me, some of those decals look a bit familiar, the little markings. And that's because in the old days, the model makers that worked on Space 1999 used to use Letraset for a lot of markings. So if you look at the studio models for the Eagles, some of the little sort of markings on the underside and here and there are actually Letraset architectural shapes. Like, because people used to do architecture to like floor plans of buildings, and they use Letraset with they'd have little symbols for like trees and people and doors and windows and stuff. Rather than draw it or manually, they use Letraset. So Letraset did architectural dry rubs. And they've got, if you look on an Eagle, you can see things like the top-down view of a kitchen sink, or the top-down view of a walk-in shower, the top-down view of a grating or a grill, loads of things like that, and you can see them. It's brilliant. It's fantastic. And they reproduce them perfectly in the water slide decal set. I mean, absolutely flawlessly. Right, this is a chore now. I've got no choice but to sand this away. So I've got to be really careful and make sure I sand it in such a way that I don't end up with a flattened area. It's not being friendly to me at all, this. Bandai, I curse you. I curse you with words. And maybe a shaky fist or two. Might see if I can find someone try it as a dry rub for model kits. They are basically just dry rubs. Letter set. You can still get them. Although I think nowadays you probably only find the generic kind of Euro style type fonts and stuff. It's now known as Chart Pack. There's also Deca Dry or Deca Dry. Please tell me it's Deca Dry and not Deca Dry. That sounds like a Pokemon. Wiki says they were bought out and now part of Windsor and Newton. That wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. This is doing my head in. Bandai, why are you doing this to me? Oh! Take with one hand and just give with the other hand. And... oh. Sadness, Bandai, sadness. Now I'm going around in little circles here when I'm sanding. I'm sanding in circles. The best way to avoid obvious sanding marks is to go in circles. It just means that all the little scratches cancel each other out as you go along. And so you have a better chance of not having obvious scrapey marks. Now again, this is going to be painted, so it's not really the end of the world. As long as I get it nice and smooth and I keep the cylindrical shape, it's not a problem. It's not like it's going to be an obvious, when these two go together, however they go together, you're not going to see. They don't run into each other. So it's not a problem. But I want it to be nice to look at and nice and neat. Chat doing. Don't go too heavy or you will have an hourglass. Yeah, that's what I'm trying not to do. It needs to stay cylindrical. There we go. I've never known a little raised mould line or anything like that would be so difficult to get rid of. Which makes me think it's an intentional detail. It's meant to be there like an actual panel line. But I've never seen Bandai do raised panel lines before, and also it's right where the nubs are. So they can't really keep it. Otherwise you'd have this panel line with gaps where I've got rid of the nub. But then how do you recreate a raised panel line? You can't. So there we go. That's that bit. So what I can do now is go in with this puppy, and I'll do the whole tube this time because I want to make sure everything blends away. You don't need to do this, but this just means I can make sure there's no textural difference between the bit I've just done and the rest of it, hopefully. It almost would have been better to give me two separate pieces to put together, because when I filled that with glue and did a bit of sprue glue and got rid of the mould line, it would have been a lot easier. So we'll go back and forth. Now, like I've said before, when you're doing sanding like this, it's key to keep in mind to successful sanding. There's two stages: sanding and filing. There's the remove the stuff you don't want on the surface stage, which is what I did with the file and with that sanding sponge, the rough sanding sponge. I don't know what grit that is, but it's that rough one. And then the second stage is the clean up your work stage of sanding. So these two products are designed to remove stuff I don't want. They're removing that line, that raised panel line or raised mould line or whatever it was. They're removing that. These are destructive. The point of this is to now take all the scrapes and scratches that these have introduced and gently remove those and blend them all together so they're invisible. Because this will put massive gouges in the plastic. This, being a bit finer, will sand down the marks that this leaves behind, but it will also still remove plastic. This is a softer sponge. This will remove all the marks that this has put in, but it's not going to significantly take a lot of plastic off. It's just going to gently soften any marks left in by that sanding stick. And this is the trick now. Once you've sanded away the plastic you don't want, the trick is to then make everything look nice and smooth. If you're painting, now I'm going in little circles like this, because if you go in circles, like I said, it helps smush everything together. If you go in one direction all the time, you just get lots of scrapes going backwards. If you go in circles, all the scrapes kind of blend together and cancel each other out. So hopefully, what I'm left with, how's that looking? Okay, well it looks a lot smoother, but I can still personally see a few scrapes and scratches here. Not massive, but they are there, and it might be the primer gets rid of that, but it might not. Now, if I wasn't painting this, what I'd need to do is go in with finer and finer sandpaper every time, or sanding sponge, and slowly get back to shiny, shiny plastic. I'm not doing that, though, because I'm priming it, so I just need it to all be the same sort of texture. As long as it's smooth and not full of little scratches, I'll be alright. So, let's see how this comes out. What's chat doing? Adrian Hunt says, this is a great prep before my build. Glad it's helping. Don't go too heavy. Oh, we've done that one. Is Chris still here, or is he actually going to do some work for once? Asks Sprue Glue Addict. Chris, do work. He's playing with tiny curly clock springs. That's what he's doing. Yes, he said yes. He said he'd pop in and out, but Dad says shh, you'll wake him up. Ozzy says, is it just me or are the newer Bandai kits 2018 to 19 and nubs a little easier to remove? I haven't made a new kit, to be honest. I haven't made any of the newer ones. They may have changed their plastic a bit. I doubt it, though. Maybe they've just designed them to be smaller or less hassle to remove. Could be that. Maybe the newer designs can get away with smaller actual tree connections. How are we doing? Let's see how we did. What I'm doing here, you can't see what I'm doing here. I'm not holding up to the camera for you guys to see. I know it's out of focus. I'm actually holding up to my light, which is there, so I can look at it side on and see, can I see any obvious scratchy marks? And there's still a few little marks, so I'm going to go in again. More sanding. More sanding. Best thing about Hero Quest is all the sanding. Yes, some of you might get that joke. So I'm putting a little bit more pressure on, just because I need to get this nice and smooth. And like I say, if I was doing this as bare plastic, I'd go with finer and finer grits. I don't know what grits these are. I often joke and say to Paul from Ultimate Modelling Products, dude, put the grit number on your flipping sanding sponges so I can pimp them for you. I'd love to tell you, I've got no idea. I've long thrown the packaging away. Rough, squishy. That's as good as you get. Oops. Lol, the Bard, says Spruemonger. I love Bardic broadcasts. Sadly, that is one of the funniest videos he's done. The best thing about why Hero Quest is, if you don't know what it is, when you finish watching this, go onto the YouTubes and just look up why Hero Quest is so great. The best thing about Hero Quest, Gravity World. The best expansion of Hero Quest is more Hero Quest. My favourite line, oh no, Mormons! Hilarious video. Absolutely hilarious video. This guy's a genius. Somebody actually said, when I had my long hair and beard, I look like him. And I'm like, okay, he could be an Australian version of me, maybe. And it's on the Moon Gundam. I didn't have to do any sanding to get rid of the nubs. I just nipped them with the God Hands. However, if you've only just recently got God Hands, that could be why you're having such a good time, because they can really nicely get rid of them. It might be, because I know on some of the more recent ones I have built, not like this year and last year, they've gone from... Sorry, George, I'm going to have to do it again. I do apologise. If you look at some of the older kits, they have like a component on the sprue, and the gate will be like square or tube, and it would just attach to the part like that. On some of the more recent kits, though, you do find sometimes they've got the sprue, and then it's more of a point like that. So they've changed to these more little points. So when you nip it there, you've got a much smaller space and therefore a much smaller sprue. And of course, don't forget, they seem to be getting better at undergating stuff. I still don't understand why they release plated kits without complete 100% under. Like, they do the Unicorn. They do the, you know, the Fenix Unicorn with its lovely mechy gold plating, which would be beautiful if it wasn't for the fact that half or most of the parts aren't undergated and you get nubs that you can't clean up. Now, I know all they do is they take the kit that they designed to not be plated and then they plate it and make a special edition, but there's no situation in which I would ever give Bandai money for a plated kit, because I know I can't clean the nub marks up. I really wish... I don't see how it would be more expensive. I can't imagine why it would be more expensive to make a fully undergated kit. If Bandai could release kits that were 100% undergated all the time, then I would buy all their plated kits. Okay, so that's still looking a bit... It's looking better. But it's not perfect. So what I've got next is rough, less rough, but still rough. Squishy and a bit less rough. This is one of these. This is the same as that. That's the same as that. But this is older and therefore a bit softer and worn away. I'm going to go in and do the same again. See if this does anything. And Sprewmonger says broadsword. Look at the muscularity. Me and Sprewmonger know exactly what we're talking about. Guns Down in Hell says, "I got hands that good are the ones that everyone says are the best." They're the best ones I've ever used. Some people think they're brilliant, some people think they're not. The trick to using God hands is it's the way the blades... They do have different models, but it's the way the blades are designed. Some, like the Games Workshop ones, which I have here, are pretty much designed for cutting like steel cable. They're just hardcore, and they'll just wrench the plastic pieces apart and they'll make a right mess. The Tamiya ones, these are quite old. The Tamiya side cutters, they're a bit better and a bit more delicate. They'll still wrench the plastic a little bit, but they're alright. These ones are designed to leave as little damage as possible. And what you do, the best way to use them, unless you've got a piece where it's a really small nub and you can just snip it off, the best way to use God hands is to use a different pair of nippers first. Go with something heavy duty, like these or Tamiya ones, whatever, and cut the thing off the sprue, but leave a nub about 2 or 3 millimeters long. Don't go right up to the plastic part. Nip it off, get the part, you've got a little nub left. You then go in with your God hands, and because the blades are lined up in such a way that they're perfectly... You can actually adjust with this screw. You can adjust the two blades sit like that, and you can adjust them to be angled. If you do blades like that overlap, that's when you get torsion on the plastic and it kind of wrangles it a bit. If you get blades that are perfectly aligned, then when it cuts away, it can do a nice clean cut, and that's why these do a clean cut. They're not designed for getting things off the sprue, really, unless it's a really tiny nub. They're designed for going in once the piece is off the sprue and just snipping that extra bit off. And the trick is, people complain they don't last very long because the tips snap off. If they snap off, you're doing it wrong. You're supposed to use the inside bit of the blades, that bit in there, not the tips. You don't ever cut from the tips. Although you see me do it very, very occasionally when I've got no choice if I can't get them in. But you're supposed to use the bit in the middle here. That's the tough bit where it can cut. It says on the packaging, don't cut with the tips. So they are really, really good. If you're outside Japan, I'm in the UK and these are too expensive for me to get. These were gifted to me very kindly, but I can't afford to buy these and have them shipped to me, which is a bit of a pain. But they are fantastic. Some people rave about them more than they should, I think. They're very, very good. They're worth having if you can afford them. They're the best ones I've ever used. I'm sure there might be better ones. I do not know. But they're the best ones I've ever used. They do make life a lot easier. They reduce the amount of cleanup you have to do to get rid of nub marks. If I was just to use, say, the Citadel nippers, which are designed for cutting steel cables, and Games Workshop nubs that are that wide, then I'd just mangle the plastic. If I've got a component, like a plastic piece here on a sprue there, and I go right to the plastic with anything other than those and do that, I'll get a dimple in the piece because it'll cut that plastic and pull it out, and it'll just make a mess. But you don't really want to take things off sprues with them. You want to use them to remove the little bit of nub that's left on the part. No one wields an unboxing life like the Bard, says Sprewmonger. Yeah, go and have a look. After you watch this, go and have a look. Bardic Broadcasts, I think it's called. He's a really awesome dude. Unfortunately, most of his videos are very few and far between, and they're mostly like action figure unboxings. But some of them are quite funny. But nothing beats the that's the wrong one, you fool. Nothing beats his video of what makes Hero Quest so good. Ed Bush says, I love my God hands. And Dad says, I love my God hands, but do not cut with the tip where possible, as they will chip off. Yes, you can, and the end can chip off completely. I think where people go in and start snipping things off the sprues willy-nilly with God hands and using the tip of the blades, and then they break, and that's why they think they're not very good. But that's because they're doing it wrong. They're misusing them. They're not... You'll see me take things off sprues occasionally with them, but that's purely where I look at the size of the nub or the connection point and think, okay, I can get the blades in right to the base, and it's a really small nub. It's not going to harm the plastic. Not going to harm the nippers. And I'm not going to damage anything. If it's a large nub or a large connection point, I'm going to go in with something else. For Bandai, it's not so bad because their connection points are quite small. But, you know, Warhammer, yeah, don't take things off sprues with God hands. I want to know if they're worth the price as guns. They are worth the price, but it depends where you are. If you're in the UK and you're going to pay 45 quid for the God hands and then 45 quid for shipping, I'd say probably not. There are other ones that are almost as good that you can get for it a lot cheaper. They're just going to, I mean, you know, they're only really doing something that you could do with very careful use of less good nippers and a modelling knife and sanding and filing. All they're really going to do is speed the process up by removing the need for lots of other sanding and filing, I think, really. Okay, well that's smoother. I can still see something, but I can't tell if that's just going to be actually visible under primer or just a colouring difference. I'm not sure. I think the only way we're going to know for that is get that thing built and primed. And then, if it still needs sanding after that, then we can go in and sand it away. So do a little bit more. Tamiya better cutters are good too, says Sprue Glue. Yeah, Tamiya are some of the good ones. But like I say, the thing with Tamiya's is they're a lot more heavy duty than those. These are really fine blades. These are more heavy duty. And they are designed to be reasonably lined up, but not 100%. Basically, there's loads of things online. You can go and have a look at the difference that different nippers can make. And God hands are going to give you the absolutely best close-up cut. Probably closely followed by Zuron, Xuron, who do some very good nippers. And then maybe the Tamiya side cutters. But again, it's with most cutters, I would say don't go straight up to the component part that you're cutting off the sprue. Leave a little bit of nub and then clean it up. With God hands, you can theoretically go straight from the sprue to right against the plastic piece. I wouldn't recommend it with any others though. They cause the least amount of damage to the part. Right, I'm going to put that to one side because if I carry on doing that, I'm going to lose the will to live. I'm not going to do these ones yet. I'm going to do them later. I'll do them off camera. I think I'm not going to know about that and how well I've sanded those now until it comes to the point of putting them all together and getting some primer on them. So we shall see. What? 1 second, folks. Bear with me. I've just got to go and sort something out, folks. I'll be back in a minute. I shall be with you shortly. Back in a moment. Right, sorry about that, folks. I had to go and rescue all my washing. If you remember earlier on, I said I put the washing on the spinny thing in the garden. It decided to keep blowing off across the garden, so I had to go and rescue it all. Sorry about that. Right, where are we up to? Yes, I'm not going to do these on camera because they're going to just cause me grief. So I'm going to spend some time making those. They go together like that. So they're going to have a natural seam line in them. But we can leave that as a panel line. Yes. But we'll work on those now anyway. See, even... Oh, hang on. Let me get me... Oh, see, even there, there's raised panel detail, but there's other panel detail. And it's... I can't get rid of this nub without sanding it away. Oh, why did you do that, Bandai? I'll have to have a look at those later and take some time to consider how I want to do that. Yeah. Right, let's have a look at the chat. Hello, Mama Fox, says Sprooglue Addict. All talking about the musics. Reminds me of my childhood. We're all kids in here. Now Fox is out of the room, do we all get to climb on the desk, shout and jump around and throw paper about? No, you're supposed to sit there with fingers on lips, quietly. Let's have a look. People talking about airbrushes. Put a whoopee cushion on his chair. He's back, behave. Shh. Guns Down in Hell says, yes, in the future I may need to get another airbrush, but I need a trigger. I hate the button one, hurts my hands. My airbrush of choice is the Iwata Nia with the trigger. Because I found the name for it, because I can't bend the end of my fingers. It's called something... Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, I can't bend the end of my fingers. So this, doing a button for me is torture. So that's why I have the trigger one. It's much better. Yes, trigger airbrushes. They're more expensive, but if you have any kind of limited mobility in your hands, or if you get cramps or arthritis or anything like that, much easier. But yeah, I mean, you can't... It's not like you can pop the trigger out, though, and easily and clean it. So I've never been able to get that on cleaning there. You can do if you know what you're doing, but I don't have the nerve to do that. But yeah, I do have a Iwata Revolution 5.5 that I use for things like primers and stuff like that. But everything else I do through this, because a normal airbrush with the button I can use for like 10 minutes before I'm getting cramps. This thing I can spray for 3 hours straight, no problem at all. Plus you can go pew 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 every time you spray. It's really great. You can make pew pew noises, which is kind of, you have to. It's kind of contractual. Roger Smith says, do you ever find that when you connect the pieces you've sanded to the next piece by the sanding made it no longer flush? Yes, which is exactly why on these weapons, for example, you can see here I've written nubs. I haven't fully sanded or removed the nubs on these yet on certain parts, like here or here. And the reason is being, when I come to finally assemble this, I'm going to be putting glue down the seam line to seal it and it bubble out, and I'll sand it back to make a smooth finish. If you want to avoid having like two things that go together like that, but when you sand them, they end up like that. If you want to avoid that, you put it together first and then you get rid of the nubs. So if, like with me, you're going to be putting glue down the middle to fill the seam line, you may as well do all that first, because you're going to have to sand that back anyway, so that when you do sand it back, you can take care of the nubs then, and that way it guarantees you maintain the same shape. That isn't a cylinder, but you get the idea. So yes, the trick with that is, if you've got a seam line, like a join line, and there's a nub on the edge, and you've got another half to go on it, always leave that nub and this till later on when you can get rid of it, and make sure you keep the edges flush. It took me a long time to realise that. I was like, oh, that's kind of obvious when you think about it, but until somebody tells you, you don't know, you see. That's because his fingers don't bend. Yeah, it's called gripophoria or something. It's like basically the tendons at the end of my fingers. The reason my fingers look like that and kind of funny at the end is because the tendons at the end of my fingers, I can't voluntarily, I can bend them, but there's no strength in the tendons, so I don't have the ability. And I didn't realise this for many years. I don't have knuckles. Well, there's knuckles there, but there's no wrinkles on the knuckles. I didn't realise that until about 2 months ago, that most people have knuckles there, wrinkly knuckles. I've got one there, but not there. See, same on the inside, nothing. It's cool. I'm like, oh, you mean you're supposed to have like wrinkly bits there? Now, as I get older, into my old age, I'm going to suffer with that, because as you can see, my fingers do kind of go bendy at the end. There's nothing I can do about that. It's the nature of the whatever it's called. It's gripper something. Somebody look it up. Somebody look it up. Gripper something. Gripper. I don't know. Something. Anyway, sounds Greek. I love the trigger. It reminds me of quick scooping in COD. Quick scoping. Yes, if that's the one you've got, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's the one you've got, guns down. That's an absolutely brilliant airbrush. It's only 0.35. There is also the TRN. That's the TRN1 that I've got. The 0.35. There is also the TRN2, I think, which is a 0.5 or slightly bigger nozzle. But it is a brilliant airbrush. The only problem I've got with mine is it was when it first came. I got mine when it first came out, and there were. Here's the thing. I got my TRN1 airbrush, my Neo, when they were about 80 quid. Now they're about 120. But when they first came out, they weren't actually solvent safe. Or it didn't specifically say if it was solvent safe or not. So I don't know 100%. Now the Neos are solvent safe. But I don't know now 100% if they are solvent safe or not. My airbrush. So I do occasionally risk it for a biscuit and flush some alcohol through it just to clean it out, but I'll do it very quickly. I don't let it linger, and I'm not going to put lacquers through it or enamels or anything like that because I don't want to take the risk. But the modern ones are, but mine was a first generation. I don't think it's solvent safe, so I'm not going to risk it. No, I won't risk it for a biscuit too much. Dave Cardboard says dancing phalanges. I like the way that's taken a life of its own. Immortal Fox Fingers says Quano Man. Yeah. Doodle doodle doodle. See, I worry about what's going to happen in like 20 years' time when I'm a really old man, because my fingers are going to look gnarly and all you ever see of me is my hands. What do I do when my entire YouTube career depends on you looking at my hands and they're all gnarly and old man with the gripophoria or whatever it's called that I've got? I can't remember. I honestly can't remember what it's called. Gripotronic, I don't know. Some word. It sounds Greek. Damn it, now I want a biscuit. Do doodle doodle do. A little bit of nubbage there. I'm going to go one direction just to try and get rid of that nub. Remember, this is the same as that. Like the rough one. So I'm going to go one direction. If you go backwards and forwards when you sand, you're just going to grind up the plastic and make a gnarly mess. If you go in one direction, you have a lot less scratchy, gnarly horribleness, and it's easier to recover that back to a smooth surface. You can cross over, and again, remember, if you're making lots of scratches that way, and then you make lots of scratches that way, and then lots that way, and then that's how you manage to get rid of obvious scratchy marks. So don't go just in one direction permanently. Sand in one direction, but do change that direction every now and then, just to cover yourself up a little bit. Because then when I come in with the next stick, it's going to make that easier to hide. There's so much I can do with the knife. Keeping it flat. Hobnobs, says Sprue Glue. Oh, chocolate hobnobs. Oh, Earl D's in. Afternoon chat. Afternoon, Earl D. Oh, chocolate hobnobs. No, I can't. I need to not eat anything now apart from my dinner. I need to get rid of my belly. I need to make all my t-shirts fit me again because I can't afford to buy more. I've literally got like about 3 t-shirts that fit, and they're all the ones that were on the spinny thing in the garden drying, and they're all covered in garden now. I may have to rewash them. Oh, it's one of them spinny clothes hanging things that you put tent pegs down to lock it in place, and somehow it still kept falling over apparently. So it's probably got all creatures on it and grass and plants and everything. Oh well, never mind. Earl D being very polite and calling Dad Sir. People call me Sir sometimes. People send me emails saying, hello Sir, when you forget, I'm like, dude, don't call me Sir. That's like, I'm not your dad. Just don't call me Sir. It's far too formal. Also, it makes me sound old. A lot of Americans call you Sir. It's kind of a polite respect thing. But they don't need to. To somebody British like me, it's like, ooh, don't call me Sir. Sir's what you call your school teacher. Now, you see I'm going backwards. Now, here's the thing, right, with me. I did say go in one direction. Don't go like this because you'll ground the plastic up. This is that's because I'm using that. This I'm just kind of smoothing off, so I can go in one direction and I can go in circles, because I'm not really grinding the plastic. You're not going to grind the plastic up with something this fine. But when you're using a low grit like them, or you file, that's when you don't want to go in circles or backwards and forwards. This I can do, because all I'm doing here is trying to smooth off the sanding marks. I'm not trying to sand plastic away, literally. I mean, technically I am, but I'm more just trying to blend all the sanding marks together, and that's where the circle helps. So yes, I'm going backwards and forwards with this, but that's because it's different. Just practicing for work, says Earl D. Do 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 do. Get out of the little hole. Yeah. Hold it up to the light, see if I can see the nub. There's a little bit of depression there. I can still see a little bit of depression. So it might be worth me even going in with the file, just to flatten that completely. Let's go from that angle. Go very gently, because this will put massive scratchy in there. It's just a case of going in gently as possible. Flatten down. So it's all level. Now we can go in with that thing again and get this. Remove the sanding marks from the file and just smooth everything off a bit more. Go over itself just to blend. If any of you have ever done like drawing with coloured pencils and you've coloured things in, you've figured out that you can do circular motions or go over yourself in different directions to remove any pencil marks from coloured areas. It's the same principle with sanding. You kind of go over yourself and go in circles and different directions just to make all the little lines blend into each other. Dad says to LD, how's working your notice going? And LD says, it's great, Dad, it's fun when it doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, I used to work in the last job I had, well, not the last job I had, the second to last job I had was in a call centre. And there's nothing better than when you work in like a crappy job like that, where you're just a phone monkey. And your entire life is ruled by moronic bosses who can't tell their ass from their elbow without a map. And stupid rules and and you're like, oh, there's nothing better than when you're on your last week and you're giving your notice in and you know that nothing actually matters, because what they're going to do, fire you. You're going to leave in 3 or 4 days. I mean, you don't obviously do anything that will get you fired, because they can still fire you, but you know that that trouble ticket you've had open for like the last 6 months because a customer's got a problem with something and you've been trying to get it fixed and it's a living hell nightmare because nobody's doing anything about it, you can just pass it off to someone else. And the 2 greatest feelings you can have when you're leaving an office job like that is, first of all, passing off any of those nightmare account issues that you've been dealing with for weeks and weeks, and the customer just hates everything about you now because you're taking forever to get something fixed. I used to work in telecoms. You can pass off those trouble tickets. Passing off the trouble ticket to one of your colleagues is the best thing ever, because you can see them looking at you going, I hate you. You say, right, here's this trouble ticket, and you give them a little, you say, this is what it is, this is how it's going, you'll be fine, don't worry about it. You kind of lie a little bit and you tell them it's just, you need it for a few weeks. Yeah, you can see as they see the tickets arriving in their inbox from you, and you can just see the seething and loathing because they're just taking on all your crap basically, and you're just like, yes, I don't care, I'm losing it. It's great. And the thing is, the other greatest feeling is, again, if you work in a call centre where you have like a system that you in my situation, I was looking at telecoms faults, and I was sort of went through a list of telecoms faults for customers. So each of us had like an inbox of faults we were dealing with, and just to see the faults in your inbox just going down and down and down to none, and you're like, yes, completely clear inbox, I've got no open tickets, I can't take on new ones. Oh, it's just the best feeling ever. It's almost like sitting there with your feet up doing nothing for the last day and you're like, I love this. It doesn't always work out that way, sadly, but when that does happen, it is fantastic. Right, so that's now much better. A bit more filing on that. You can't see it. I'm not showing you in the camera. I'm holding it up to the light, but with a bit more sanding, I was able to flatten off the little bit that was left. There was a little bit of a recess where the nub was. It had actually gone in on itself. Just sanded those areas around it down, so all nice and flat. It's not baby bottom smooth. It's not baby butt smooth, but it doesn't matter because I will be priming it. So I don't care if it looks like shiny plastic or not. I just care that it's smooth and not got scratches in it. That's all that matters to me. Because the primer will cover a certain amount of micro scratches and little marks. Adrian Hunt says, I wish I could leave my job today. You can do, but you might not be able to go back to it. Guns Down says, owning your own business is great, but also hard. I'm self-employed doing this, and it's great. But I've got no money. It's not that great. It's great, but not that great. Unless you earn money doing it. Hopefully I will one day. You never know. Right, let's have a look. How's that coming on? Let's see if we got that nice and flat. That's not so bad. The little nub there was a lot flatter, so that one's nice now. That's nicely. Nicely. There was another nub somewhere. Was there another nub? I guess not. No nubs. Okay, just those two nubs. Right, so that's fine. Get the excess off. Obviously, there's still hand jam and stuff all over these. When it comes to doing the priming and stuff, I'll make sure these pieces are cleaned off, even just giving it proper dust and stuff. If I need to, I can gently clean them off so I don't get any issues with the primer. Swig of tea. Oh. Chris at Grace Models is back. He says, I've returned. I hear you talking about me sprue. And he says, I don't think sprue has even entered my competition. He's never going to do anything like that. And Dad says, competition, Chris? What competition is that? Pray tell. Yes, if you go and subscribe to Chris's channel, anyway, and subscribe to Dad's channel as well. He's reached 2,000 subscribers, so he's put a video up a few days ago on his channel, doing a giveaway for one of his mugs. So go and make sure you put a comment on that video on his channel. And just subscribe anyway. Become an unsubscriber. It's always good. These nubs are quite small, so I can't really go at them with the nippers straight away. So I'm going to trim them down. A little bit of gougey going on, but it's not the end of the world. Okay, I'm going to sand it back anyway. That can go there. I'm doing it off camera again, aren't I? I keep forgetting where the middle of the screen is. That's fine. Okay, this pile of tools that you can't see because the chat. Pile of tools. Fox, become a lap dancer in the evenings. Yeah, people are not going to pay for that. Trust me. Just Dave. Just no. I'd probably earn more money saying to people, pay me and I won't lap dance. They'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll give you all the money you want, just don't do it. Dee. Little tiny nubs, just get rid of these gently. The grey frame, plastic and stuff, is really friendly towards files and sanding. It's really... I hate the black plastic because it's just so horrible to sand. Although you might not realise it, the different plastics they use, the different colour plastics actually kind of behave differently, some of them. Like the blue and the black are very brittle. As in when you sand them or file them, they're brittle and it's weird, they behave differently. The greys are cut soft. These are all polystyrene, these aren't ABS. The greys can sometimes be ABS, which behaves differently anyway, but these are all polystyrene, but the different colour plastics behave slightly differently. Black and blue are horrible. Plus, you also get all the stress marks in black and blue that you can see. Red kind of gets stress marks, but they're not quite as bad as black and blue. But yeah, greys, they're nice. Grey's nice, but the only thing that's better, nicer than the grey is the white. The white's a dream because you can't see any stress marks in it. It's just like butter. 30, 20, 10, butter. Dad says, I knew really, to Chris about his doing his channel. He says, Dad says, I knew really I was just pimping. And Chris says, oh, I thought it was because of your age. Dad's like, cheeky git. So again, because this is just fussing now and not cutting the plastic away, I can go backwards and forwards because I just want to soften it up and blend everything away. So remember, the rougher grades are for trimming plastic away. This spongy one is for just softening and blending and tidying up. Chris, what are you having for your dinner tonight? You haven't done the belly and bench thing. What are you doing for your dinner when you get back from work? Tell me with words. Well, we're talking on the subject of income. Very, very quickly. Don't forget, of course, like I said, I'm self-employed. This is my job. This is what I do. If you would like to help me keep doing this, if you'd like to ensure that I can keep this channel going and making content for you guys, then you can support this channel in a number of ways. Obviously, if you've not already done so, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. That way you can make sure you don't miss any of my content. It's not always notified in advance things. Sometimes it's like live streams like this that just pop up in half an hour before. But if you're watching my stuff, I do have adverts on my videos, because I say this is my source of income. So if you do see an advert pop up, don't skip it. Just let it play if you don't mind. If you can, sit through it for 30 seconds. 30 seconds or so. It just gives me a chance to earn a little tiny bit of income from the ad revenue. That's why they're on there. I don't put them on there because I want you to watch ads. I put them on there because I need to have food on my table. Hello. So if you do see the advert, consider letting it run through. Where's my brush? Don't forget, of course, I do have a Patreon page. It's down there, patreon.com/modelmakingguru. Majority of my income comes from my patrons. I do depend on them to allow me to pay the bills and keep food on the table. So do go and have a look, patreon.com/modelmakingguru. Go and have a look and see if you'd like to help support. There are various perks for being an patron. I might rip off Chris from Gross Models Idea completely and just start offering spaces on my live streams, on some live streams to patrons only. I might do, I might not. But there are various perks. If you're a top tier patron like George, then after 12 months, you can have a gift of a model built and painted for you. To the best of my abilities. Best of my abilities! Look at the muscularity! So yeah, go and have a look at Patreon. Consider becoming a patron. It helps me out massively. Don't forget, of course, you can. I do have a merch store. There is a link under the video. There should be a merch bar. It only shows 2 or 3 t-shirts, but there are t-shirts and hoodies and loads of other stuff. So click on the links to follow it to the Teespring page. Go and have a look. I'll be putting more designs up soon when I get a chance. Go and have a look and see. Last of all, don't forget, of course, I do have an Amazon store. Again, links in the description below. There's a link to the store and a link to some, but not all of the products. All you need to do, if you want to buy something, if you're in the UK and you need to buy something off Amazon for your hobby, like paints or glues or tools or whatever, anything from, airbrushes and paints and glues to respirators and spray booths, before you go onto Amazon and start doing a search for whatever you're looking for, just go and have a look at my store. And if it's on there, if the thing you're looking for is on there, order it through that link. Doesn't cost you any more, doesn't make any difference to you. You won't notice any difference than just ordering it. All it means is I get a little tiny sliver of molecule of commission on that because it's gone through my store. So go and have a look. And if there's something you want and it's not in there, give me a shout. I can easily add it within seconds. So go and have a look at that as well. That's just the ways you can help keep this channel going. I try and I love doing this. And God's willing, as it were, I'd love to do this, for all time and just keep doing this forever now. But, I have to eat, pay bills. So far, I'm going for 3 or 4 years, and it's been purely down to my patrons and the bit of income I get from YouTube, which means I've been able to keep doing it. I'd like to keep doing it. And other than that, everything I do is free of charge. I don't charge people for anything. I say I do. Obviously, my patrons support me, but that's because they choose to. And just send this bit. There you go. Let's go and have a look at all those anyway. All support is really, really gratefully accepted. And the thing you have to keep in mind is I'm British, and the one thing I hate more than anything is actually doing all that and saying, hey, support me on Patreon and give me your money. I hate doing that. You guys outside the UK might not realise this, but it's the thing I hate doing the most is saying, please support me so I can keep doing this, because it's just not a British thing. Asking for money is not something we do comfortably, naturally. So, yes, I do apologise. I have to do it. We're the only kind of people that can ask you for your support and apologise for asking. That's what British is like. That's what we're like, basically. Let's have a look. Hello, Fox and All, says Joshua Defa. Welcome, Joshua. Welcome. Oh, Chris puts the link in there for me. Thank you very much, Chris. Patreon.com/model making guru. Only fair, he pimped mine yesterday. Hello, chaps and chapettes, says Osric. Welcome, Osric. Ascension Industry. Sanding nubs. Yeah, you missed the stressful bit where I was trying to sand some black plastic tubes. That was just... I did one and I'm not going to do any more on camera because I was just getting angry. And I wanted to be swearing, but I can't when I'm on telly. I wanted to say the rude words, but I wasn't allowed to. So I shall do those off camera where I can swear like a navvy. Starting my real grade Sazabi next month, says Earl D. Going with reds and going to do some whites as well. Oh, nice. Okay, what time are we on? 4:38. Okay, what I'm going to do, I think it's time for me to give some stickers away. Stay at this desk, it's covered in sanding dust. When you get your sticker, you'll get some free molecules as well. There you go, courtesy of me. Free molecules. Dad's perked up now. His ears are pricked up because somebody said red. Dad likes his red. Dad's a big red fan. He likes his... I think it's because he likes Man United, but he says it's because he likes Liverpool. I think he's a Man United fan secretly. Right. Excuse me. Right, I'm going to write 3 words on the back of these stickles. Stickles. I'm going to write butts. I'm going to write... for no reason whatsoever, I'm going to write Deliveroo, because I read a story about Deliveroo. I love that name, Deliveroo. Never used them. I like the word. And I'm going to write, on this one, I'm going to write that would be an ecumenical matter. That would be an ecumenical matter. So there we go. So we've got 3 stickers, they're all the same, all model making guru stickers. Butts, Deliveroo, and that would be an ecumenical matter. And oh yes, well Ted, what it is Ted, you see, yes. Right, so what we're going to do, we're going to do some questions and answers. I don't think I've got any emails. I'm going to have a quick check off screen because I don't need you guys seeing email addresses for people who aren't you. So let me have a look and see. I don't think I have any emails with questions and answers. To save me time actually coming up with questions and answers. Let me have a little look and see here, Ted. Nope. Okay, cool. Right, so I've got to make some shizzle up now. Fine. I'll do the work. Honestly. Dad says, Accrington Stanley. Who are they? I know what that means, Dad. I get that instantly. My mum says if you don't drink milk, you'll grow up playing for Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley. Who are they? Exactly. Yeah, there's the old... If you're outside the UK, or you're outside the north of England, and in the 1980s, you won't know what that means. Exactly. Apart from Sprugly and Oldie, who all both know what it means. Anyway, right, so... Going to ask 3 questions. Before we go anywhere, as always, don't forget, by this point in the show, there's a big lag between the video and the chat. So, before we do anything, I need you to refresh your browser and slide the slidey thing across. So refresh your browser and drag the slidey thing across. That'll get you up to date. Grace Model says, "They do dough. They do dough. Hey, they don't do duvets though, do they though? No, they don't. They don't do duvets. No. Clear my throat, 1 second. Earl D says Jossie's Giants. And to that I would say, why, I bite a grove, Spooky. Jossie's Giants, good God. Oh, do do, don't you? Ah, they? No. Come on, Sinbad. Give us that thing, Sinbad. We used to have a static caravan in the Lake District. And for about 3 weeks one summer, the caravan next to us, it was like a rented thing. The caravan next to us was some actor from Brookside for about 6 weeks. Right. Alright, let's do some questions and answers, like. So we got 3 stickers, right? That one. And which one do you want, like? So I'm going to ask you some questions, right? And whoever gets it right first, right? Whoever gets the answer in the chat first wins. I sound more like Brian Cox. Whoever gets the answer right first wins, like, brilliant things. It's amazing. You put your answer in there, the text just appears. It's like magic. And then if I stand there and I read the comments and my hair moves in the wind and it's just beautiful. Anyway, yes, I'll stop now. So, yes. I'm going to ask you a question. Whoever gets the answer right first in the chat will win the sticker. Remember, just because your comment is first in your chat doesn't make any difference. I see the chat that YouTube has. I get the comments in the order that YouTube receives them, not in the order that you type. So it'll appear on your screen straight away because it's gone from your keyboard to your monitor. It's got to go around the world to get to me. So, yes, so everybody's refreshed and dragged. And now we can do the questions now. So I've got to think of it. I'm just stalling because I can't think of a question. Right, so here we go. Everybody ready? Can the prize be a wormhole? What you can win if you get one of these, it's like brilliant, is I'll actually recreate the entire universe using small fruits and matchsticks, and it'll be marvellous. It'll be brilliant. Right, so I've got to think of some questions. Great, here we are. Right, thinking of questions now. Have a cup of tea. Aww. Oh, fudge. I've got to think of some questions. I'm thinking of questions, and the questions I'm thinking of are questions about things that I can't think about. Oh dear. Oh. Okay, here we go. Really quick Gundam one. Sprue Glue says 32,000,001. There you go. Really quick Gundam one. Everybody ready? I want the registry number. The registry number for the Sinanju. The Sinanju. The reg number, so like letters and numbers. The code number, the registry number. Go! Osric says boomerang. It always says boomerang. That's kind of stuck, hasn't it? So the code number, the registry number. Like the Strike Gundam is ZGMFX10A. What's the same thing for the Sinanju? Earl D says, wife's watching Real Housewives of something. Can the prize be a big toilet to flush them down? No. Giant toilet. On plus note, by the way, those of you in the UK will realise that Jeremy Kyle nonsense has been cancelled. Thank God. Thank goodness that nonsense is off our television screens. Absolute dross TV. Oh. And we have a correct answer. We have Chamchi Gimbap says MSN06S, which is correct. Sadly, Edwin, you added an extra 0, so you weren't correct. But yeah, Chamchi is correct with MSN06S. Chamchi, well done. You have won yourself a sticker. All the same. Would you like butts, Deliveroo, or that would be an ecumenical matter? Which sticker would you like? We shall sit quietly and wait for you to tell me which one you want. Let's have a look. Which one would you like, dude, or dudette? I got that, that creator. Thank you very much. Earl D said something and retracted it. Dude. Sprue Glue Addict says, no wonder I never win anything. I always like butts. Shame the stickers aren't bigger. Oh, it's free, man. They're free. Honestly. Right, so Chamchi, that's yours. Lovely. Well done. If you win a sticker tonight, don't forget, of course, what you need to do is once we're finished, send me an email to fox@modelmakingguru.com. Include your name and address and tell me that you've won a sticker. Don't panic if it takes like months to get to you, because I do suck absolute arse, and I've got a big pile of them to send out. I don't get to the post office once every couple of months, so I've got piles and piles of these to send out. I am accruing them and building them into a pile. There's people in there with like 5 or 6 stickers. They will come out to you eventually. I just take forever to do it. So send me an email. I'll keep the email in my inbox, and my inbox is my list of people I need to send stickers to. So Chamchi, well done. Get me an email telling me you've won. So we have 2 left. Right, to next question. That one that came through. Where's my email gone? Your swipe actions have been updated, says Google Mail. Don't care. Go away. Really? Okay, right. Okay. Next question, courtesy of thy creator. It's a very easy question if you've been watching more than one of my streams. It does take months, but I got one, says Ascension. Yeah, I suck. I just build up to a massive pile, and then I panic because I've got like 300 envelopes to send out. And that's my wages gone for the month. So I do get round to doing it. It just takes forever. Right, question. Paul D. Tomas says, well, boys and girls, I need to go get some groceries. Have fun and see you all later. Thanks for coming in, Paul. Take care, buddy. We'll see you soon. Right. Very quick question then. Very simple one. If you've been watching my streams, you'll know this. Current stream boss, you know, we do the stream boss battle at the top, and the current stream boss is not me, it's somebody else. What is the current stream boss's nickname? Go. He has a real name and the name we like to call him. What's his nickname? Go. Sprue Glue Addict says Kevin Simon Reynolds. There you go. Boom, he says at the end of it. Yeah, Kevin is our Lord and Saviour. So well done, Sprue Glue Addict. Excuse me. Would you like Deliveroo, or would you like that would be an ecumenical matter? Which would you like, dude? See, Sprue never wins anything. Chris says Sprue can't win. He is. Earl D says, Flash Gordon, send me the Falcon. That's not how it works. Which one do you want? Deliveroo? Or that would be an ecumenical matter. Tell you what, actually, hold that thought. Tell you what we'll do instead. Hang on. Just for you, Sprue. Just for you. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put that would be an ecumenical matter back in the bag. And instead, on the back of this sticker here, I'm going to draw a hamburger with an olive stuck on the side. There you go, Millennium Falcon. Those of you who know your Industrial Light and Magic lore know that when they came up with the idea for the Millennium Falcon, the second design, they basically stuck an olive on the side of a hamburger. On the other side, obviously, because I drew it reversed. And that's how they came up with this basic shape. So, there you go. That's yours, Sprue. Send me an email, fox@modelmakingguru.com. And you can have your Millennium Falcon Sprue Glue sticker. Damn it, now I want a burger, says Spruemonger. Sprue Glue says daily and then misspells it because he meant to say Dalek. So we've got one left. We've got a Deliveroo sticker. So I've got to come up with one more number. And you know what I'm going to do? I've got the pen of happiness. I've got the hand of writing. Well, the pen of writing and the hand of... Let's just move on. Time to think of a number. I have a number on the back of my hand. The number is between 1,220 and 1,230. Go. What is the number? It's between 1,220 and 1,230. What is the number? It's my time to shine, says Sprewmonger. 1,220 and 1,230. And it would seem that Chamchi is in again with 1,222. Good effort, dude. That you've got 2 stickers coming your way. So if you haven't sent me an email yet, just say you've won say you won 2 in the email you sent me. Say I've won 2 stickers. So well done. 2 for Chamchi. New viewer, and he's got himself 2 stickers, or herself, either. Well done. Thy creators, damn it! Oh. Damn you, wee ball. Right, there you go. Put that pen back there. So well done to all who won stickers. Where are we up to? What time are we on now? We're on coming up to 5 o'clock. I'm probably going to call it there, because I need to go off and start getting things ready for the dinners. I'm obviously going to carry on with all this sanding late into the night. And I will carry on doing this now for probably quite a while, because I've got all, like I said before, I didn't know if you at the start, I've not only got all this to do, I've got all them to do in there, and I've got all them to do in there. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing this sanding for quite a while. So do expect quite a few of these streams where I'm just doing the sanding and the prepping for the I can't get the word, Sazabi. Sazabi. Yes, I couldn't think then. So I'm going to get all that done. This will be a Patreon exclusive build. So once the actual proper filming episodes, like pre-recorded episodes where I'm talking to camera and doing all the bits and bobs and building and painting, they are going to be Patreon exclusive. So if you want to watch those when they do crack on eventually, you need to be a Patreon supporter. So you can become a patron at patreon.com/modelmakingguru. But until then, while I'm just doing the sanding and the prep, we will crack on with these live streams just because everybody can watch these in. And at the end of the day, there's so much to do. I kind of need your company to keep me just happy for a few hours while I crack on with it. Not that I get much done when you're here, because you're a complete distraction. But yes, I will crack on with these. That creator says, good night, Fox. Good night, guys. Got to sleep now. Thanks for coming in, dude. Take care, buddy. So yes, so we're going to do quite a few more of these live streams. It's just a good way to, fill a couple of hours while I'm sanding these, and you guys can keep me company. But once the series does start properly, once everything's prepped and ready, that will be a Patreon exclusive, so make sure you're a patron if you want to watch. Don't forget, of course, I might try and do one. I don't know if I'll do one of these tomorrow. I might not. I don't know what else is going on tomorrow. Don't forget, of course, I do have my Warhammer Sunday stream on Sunday, where I'll be cracking on with my Star Drake, Age of Sigmar Star Drake. Not part of my army, but I'm just building it anyway. And I've got some other bits and bobs going on. My Warhammer Conquest is kind of paused at the moment while I'm cracking on with this, because there's not enough space to do everything. But that will come back with a vengeance. What I might need to do is kind of get this done and then the Millennium Falcon done after this, and then dive into the Warhammer Conquest to catch up, because I'll be massively behind, but I'm not really getting much time between to do that, so that will come back, don't panic. Ooh, got the burps now. I had too much tea too fast. And of course, I'm back on Monday with Chris and Ted for the eModels live stream. So I'm going to have a swig of tea. It just remains for me to say thank you very much for watching today. Now, a quick last look at the chat, or even the chat, even. Nothing new in there. Chamchi was offering stickers to Sprue, but to Thy Creator, but Thy Creator, I've got 6 on the way, mate. Don't worry. Yeah, there's all these that need to go out. I've got all these stickers to send out, and they will get sent. You all know me by now. You all know I suck right royally at sending stuff out. So it doesn't. I don't forget you. I've still got your email. It's just a big pile of them there. Drink the tea through a straw. No. That's not how you drink hot beverages. Sprewmonger says, night all have to prune the wallabies, not a euphemism. I don't even want to know, but thanks for coming in. Anyway, that's going to do us. I'm going to go and sort out my dinner, and then do more of this tonight. And then maybe I might treat myself late tonight with a little bit of Fallout 3 just to reward myself for doing some work. We'll see. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. As always, don't forget to... No, it's not Sunday. I can't tell you to go and watch Chris's stream later. I'm an idiot. Anyway, have yourself a good weekend if I don't speak to you before then. If I don't see you tomorrow, have yourself a great weekend. I'll see you on Sunday. this back channel, 3 PM. I'm waffling now. So what I'll do is I'll just press some buttons. Take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. You there. You. Look, finger pointing. Yeah. Go be awesome. And until next time, adios, amoebas. Woo! Bonus content.